Hello, everybody, and welcome to our webinar today. I'm really excited everybody could join us. So today, this is going to be a really special webinar. I've only done something like this one time in the past, and actually was with Christine a while back. We had all kinds of technical issues, so hopefully we're going to be good now. So today, we're going to be diving in. I'm going to be teaching you together with Christine how Christine got 504,600 business credit approvals with no consumer credit check or personal guarantee, and the exact steps she took that you can take as well to get the same results. Now, I will tell you going in that she has now well surpassed the $504,000, and we'll talk a little bit more about the recent approvals she's got since we first actually came up with this title about a month or so ago. So let's dive in and get started. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Ty Crandall, and I'm actually the CEO here at Credit Suite. So I've got about 17 years of financial experience. I've been working with credit. I've been working in the financial services space ever since I got out of the Air Force many years ago. So I went into the military, I got out, and I've worked in financial services ever since. I've owned a consumer credit company, built that, sold that, and I've worked in the commercial credit scoring world and the commercial credit world for quite some time now. I think going on about nearly 7 years. I speak about business credit worldwide to give you an idea of what my life is typically like. Last weekend, I was in LA and I got back Monday morning, and I will leave again Thursday to go to Dallas. So I'm oftentimes going around the country and elsewhere talking about the same topics that we're going to be talking about today. I also have two of the best-selling books that you're going to find on credit. You can find them both on Amazon. Perfect Credit, which is about consumer and commercial credit, and Business Credit Decoded, which decodes all aspects of the business credit building process. And beyond that, I'm also featured all over the place. If you go to our website, creditsuite.com, you'll see that I'm on radio stations and podcasts and TV, and I've been featured in Inc., Entrepreneur, Forbes magazine. So whenever a lot of these news sources have questions on the topic of business credit financing, I'm usually the person that they're actually turning to. And I actually oversee the largest business credit partner division in the United States. To date, we've helped about 15,000 people build business credit. So needless to say, I have a little bit of experience in what I'm going to talk about today. And Christine, being one of our clients, has actually seen the success of what we do. And then we also service thousands of partners that offer business credit financing as a service, where we actually do all the servicing. Our advisors do all the back end work for them, our finance team, our software, etc. So we actually oversee those as well. So I don't tell you these things to brag or boast. Anybody that really knows me will tell you I'm in a very humble person. I'm only telling you these things because I just want you to know what my knowledge is and my experience is. So when I'm teaching you what I'm teaching you today, you know the place that I'm coming from and the experience that I bring to the table. So speaking of today, what we're going to cover today, I have a special guest with us on today, and her and I together are going to tackle how to immediately get business credit that's linked to your EIN number and not linked to your personal Social Security number. Even if you're a startup, even if you have bad credit now, we're going to talk about how Christine has obtained well over $500,000 in business credit already in her travels without attaching it to her personal social, without the personal guarantee, without the personal credit check. We're even going to walk through exactly how she did this. Beyond that, we're also going to teach you then how to immediately start using that initial business credit you built, which, by the way, we're going to teach you how to get that as soon as this webinar is completed. And then we're going to teach you how to use that foundation that you've built to start getting what I call retail credit or store credit. Places like Walmart, Amazon, Staples, Apple, Lowe's, Ford, Best Buy, Visa, MasterCard, Amex, and more. To give you an idea, a little bit of foreshadowing here, Christine has already secured, for example, $40,000 Best Buy accounts, 40,000 Ford approvals plus, as well as PNC approvals, for which is cash credit, Visa card, MasterCard, for 50,000, 100,000. So to give you an idea of the kind of credit we're going to teach you how to get today and the kind of credit she has already obtained, and we'll show you all kinds of proof and evidence of all kinds of approvals. We're also going to teach you how you can access loans, even when banks say no, even as a startup, even if you have credit challenges, even if you lack collateral. We find that a lot of people can't get financing or don't get financing because They don't know how to. They don't know where to go. So we're going to dive in and talk about a little bit of those sources. Christine's working on some really cool things right now, and I'm not sure what she can and can't talk about, but we'll talk about what she's doing now that she's built business credit to be able to rapidly expand their primary business and how she's used that to start a secondary business as well. If you are interested, we are going to talk more about how to make money offering business credit financing. It's for some people, it's not for others. Christine's in an industry where she doesn't want to do this. She doesn't need to do this. She's not around people that need business credit financing. A lot of our other customers are, and so they choose to be partners. And we'll talk to you a little bit more about how you can do that. And you also will know that we will talk about bonuses that you can have the ability to obtain at the end of this, and we will also talk about how you can get a playback. So here's how this is going to work. We're going to run 90 minutes today, and that's going to take us to about 6:30, and then I'm going to open it up for a Q&A, question and answer. If you stay through the 90 minutes, then we will send you a playback of the event. You will also have an opportunity to learn how to get some bonuses, so huge incentives if you're staying through the event. That doesn't mean you have to stay through the Q&A. Sometimes we could be here for an hour or more after just answering questions. You don't have to stay for that Q&A. If you're staying through the 90 minutes, and you'll have access to the playback. We'll send that to you probably tomorrow. We'll get you the playback, and then we will also talk to you about the bonuses as well. So business credit, will this work for you? A lot of people ask that. Is what we're going to talk about going to work for you today? Or is Christine, a superwoman? Can she do things you can't do? And is what I'm going to teach really for only high-level businesses or not? Well, business credit's the only solution you can get regardless of cash flow, regardless of collateral, regardless of credit. It's the only way you can get money for a business even when you can't get other kind of financing, because loans and credit lines all require one of those three: cash flow, collateral, or credit. If you don't have one, you can't get a loan, but you can still be able to qualify and get business credit. This means that any business can obtain it, even startups. So if you think I'm a nonprofit, I'm a startup, I have credit issues, none of those things are barriers to get what we're going to talk about today. And here's some examples from a lot of people just like you that had those same concerns and the results that they're getting. Here's Abigail, who just got her 10th account with no PG, which means no personal guarantee, which also means no personal credit check. Here's a $4,000 approval from Chevron from Laverne. Here's another Staples account from Laverne. Here's a JC Penney approval. Here is Crystal talking about the Uline credit that she got. Here's a $6,000 Amazon approval from Manuel, as well as a $10,000 Apple credit card. Here's a $12,500 Apple credit card. Here's an $8,500 after reading your book and listening to your webinar. So somebody attending a webinar just like this, $8,500 worth of credit they've obtained. Here's a $1,000 Office Depot approval, a net 30 Office Depot approval. Here's an ExxonMobil approval for $2,000 without a PG. Here's another approval, it looks like $17,000 Amazon line of credit. Who can't use 17 grand at Amazon? JC Penney. Here's another approval you can see here for a fleet account for $2,600. $4,000 approval here from Amazon. Here's somebody that's shocked to have got their $4,000 at Amazon. Here's a whole list of approvals: Monopolize Your Marketplace, Uline, Quill, Seton, Walmart, American Express. All of these accounts that they've been able to obtain using the same training. Here's $50,000 credit line with Flying J, with Pilot Flying J. $7,000 approval here with 10 vendor accounts. Here's more purchases made using Quill, which we're going to teach you how to get early. $4,000 approval is another $4,000 approval. Here's another $1,600, $3,000 Exxon. Here's an American Express for $9,000, and another fleet card for $7,200 from Jeanette after Renee's Amex. Here's Luis's $20,000 American Express card. Here's Mary's approval for $50,000 line of credit. Here's a Dell approval for looks like $10,000. Here's another racetrack approval for $6,000, and on and on and on. The reality is I can do this all day. These were pretty recent when I took them. We have a lot more of these actual approvals as I go through the steps to show you, but these are people just like you, right? A lot of them have credit issues. A lot of them, are startups. A lot of them don't have collateral. A lot of them couldn't get bank loans. A lot of them didn't think business credit worked. A lot of them didn't know what business credit was. A lot of them didn't think it would work for them. And they went through the training that I'm going to give you today. And these are the kind of results that you're seeing them actually get. So enough about me. Let's talk a little bit about our special guest today with us, Christine. Now, Christine's the owner and operator of Feral Transportation. In all fairness, she does own that with her husband, who is probably sleeping right now because he works so hard. He wasn't able to make it here with us tonight. The company was established August of 2015. If you think that she got these approvals because she's had a business open for 3 years, you are incorrect. The approvals that she's going to talk about today are going to be for 2 companies, one of which she just recently started. I don't know how many months, but it was months ago, less than a year ago. And this is what a lot of our clients end up doing. They end up building a bunch of business credit, then opening another business and building business credit, following the same steps for multiple businesses, as we will teach you today as well. Her website, one of them, she might give you more as we talk to her here in a few minutes, is horsepursuit.com. So if you want to learn a little bit more about her, and here's just a quick screenshot of a little bit about them and their business. And here was Christine introducing herself to a lot of the people in our group, telling you some pictures and showing you and talking to you a little bit about who she is. So a little bit about Christine's story, and then I'll kind of bring her on and let her talk about some things from her own. But she actually struggled to get financing to start and grow her business. So if you're in that place where you're trying to start a business, you're trying to grow a business, you're struggling to do so because you can't get the money, Christine was exactly in the same place. And she couldn't qualify for most bank loans for one reason or another. Then she started to build business credit. She discovered what it was. She tried it on her own. She worked with a few companies. She spent a lot of considerable time. She struggled to get approvals. She worked on it for like a year and got like barely any approvals that she'll walk you through. And then she only ended up, after banging her head against the wall, because she didn't have someone like this webinar to teach her how to do it, and before she actually started to get success. And we'll talk a little bit about her journey. And she ended up finding us on YouTube and has had considerable results since. So we'll talk about what her journey was like before we started working with her and where she is now, so you can get an idea of kind of what to expect both ways. And here's a quote from one of Christine's emails. I've been learning every way not to do business credit. When I came across your videos 2 months ago, I really did just take off with the funding. So in the past 2 months, we've seen major improvements, and we are really looking to grow from here. We've been through 3 other companies with little to no results except for an empty bank account. And this is, Christine and I talk back and forth quite a bit through email, and this was just an excerpt from one of her emails to kind of get an idea. And the reason I show you this is because I think a lot of us can relate. A lot of us have struggled to get the money that we need. A lot of us have come in and tried to actually even go through other companies or do what I'm going to show you today on our own and not succeeded. So that being said, Christine, how are you doing? Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Can you
Perfect.
hear me all right?
I can.
Okay,
Well, thanks for coming in.
I finally got my earbuds to work. Thank you.
Well, Christine told me before going in, guys, she's got kids running all over the place, and as I do in my house, but my wife is managing them, and her husband, I think, is sleeping because he was probably working all night, right?
Actually, he got up around 2, 3 in the morning, had a delivery to make. Then he stopped about, I'd say, less than an hour ago. He has to be up and back out on the road at 2 o'clock in the morning. So he's sleeping. He's out.
Well, tell everybody, and I've kind of tried to put it in my own words, but tell us all a little about, before you came and you and I started talking, tell us a little bit about your journey of trying to build the business, the struggles you had to get financing, because I think a lot of people listening can relate to that.
Well, I kind of want to correct you on something. We've had our business since 2005 for the trucking company. So we incorporated in 2011. And we didn't start building business credit until 2015. So it's kind of a stair-step thing that we've gone through. But when we first found out about business credit, we didn't know what to do, where to go. So we found a company that would build business credit, and they said they would fix the personal credit. Yeah, that was a disaster. Like I said, only thing we wound up with was an empty bank account. Then we found another company that would get you approved, but wanted you to purchase trade lines, which is a big no-no for me because I work too hard to have somebody mess up my stuff, and I don't need to be red flagged. So I'm like, you know what? I'll bypass here. So, and then the third company, they would put you in this waiting list of, okay, we know you need this now. wait to maybe do the application. I'm like, you know what? If I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it myself. So I went through 3 different companies, spending a lot of money, having people ruin our personal credit because they said they were going to fix it along with the business credit. I was like, where's all this stuff that you guys promised? Where's all this credit that you said that we can get? But what I didn't realize is there was a better way. And then when I found you online, I was thinking, oh, great. Here we go. Somebody else who's going to say they know what they're doing, and it's going to be another fly-by-night company. So I took a chance. I was like, you know, what's the worst that can happen? What else can I lose? So I took a chance. I started doing what you did, started following your program online, and I started seeing some massive results really quickly. So then I called and I got the program. And I started emailing and letting you guys know what my successes were, and it just snowballed from there. I mean, I didn't expect 18 months later to be doing what I'm doing right now. I didn't expect this. You
So
know,
Christine,
it's just one of those.
and you hit on a couple important points that I think everybody might have missed. You know, first of all, buying trade lines is a bad deal, guys. And Christine, you recently had that happen where an alert was put on your credit report from Dun and Bradstreet because a
Yes.
company selling trade lines, they didn't even buy any. You didn't buy anything from them. They just pulled your credit report, and that created an alert on your credit report, right?
Yes. Yes. And I am still, to this day, even though the alert was taken off, 3 of my scores, my visibility, my rating, and I don't remember what the last one is, they're locked down for a year
Guys,
because of excessive inquiries,
and
is
guys,
what
this,
they
this
said.
is what happens when people but when you try to buy trade lines. Okay, so a lot of people ask this question. This is why you don't do it. The fact that somebody even pulled her credit report hurt her credit scores for the course of a year, and now she's got an alert on her credit report. The other thing she mentioned is that, and she cut out a little when she was saying, is that she's tried to. One of the companies she tried to work with said they were going to do it for her, which is always a red flag when somebody's going to apply for the credit for her. And the end result was that they wasted how much time and only got you like how many accounts?
They wasted about 8 months of my time and only got me 2, maybe even 3 starter accounts, if
In
even
eight
that,
months. Right.
in eight
So
months.
let's talk about this now since. Now let's give you an idea, everybody, of the kind of results that Christine has seen since working with us and doing it the right way. And I'm just going to pull all these up and then we can kind of talk a little bit about these. So, and I got all these from your emails, Christine, and put all these. I changed everything I had to make sure they're correct. So Sprint, $2,000, Amazon, 4,500, Tractor Supply and Exxon both for $5,000, Fuelman Fleet for $6,000, BJ's for $7,000, BP for $8,000, Lowe's for $10,000, Apple for 12,500, Shell for 15, Office Depot, Sears for 15 apiece, Costco for 20, Best Buy for 40, Dell for 40, Ford for 40. I put Roofs Plus, but it's actually a roofing company. Now, I hope these are all the right ones that I translated over from you. $75,000, PNC 150, Pilot Flying J 50,000 a week. Now I have Shell listed twice here, but if you take that out, that's about 515,000 in approvals. But that's pretty conservative, right? Let's look at, and I'll give you kind of some images of this. Here's, Christine, for example, sharing in one of our groups just a handful of the cards you have. There's like 3, 4, 5, 6, like 10 or 11 of those accounts. And it sounds like here, based on your post, you're just frustrated because people are saying that what you're doing isn't even possible.
Yeah, I've had people tell me I'm defrauding the system. Even family members are like, "What you're doing is illegal, and you're going to wind up in jail." And I'm like, you know what? I'll wait outside for the cops. They still haven't shown up yet, so I'm good.
Here's Christine showing her business credit reports with a score of 100, which is the highest you can get. Here's one of her recent approvals. Now this is a 5,000, and I did mess up. For some reason I don't know where I got the 2015. So one business you have is seasoned, right? It's been open then since 2005, so that's been open for 13 years. The other one you
Right.
just started, right?
Well, actually, the other business is I was a sole proprietor since 2013. But last November, I finally decided, you know what? If I'm going to have 2 businesses, I might as well make it an LLC. So that one, I finally incorporated into an LLC. And in January, I started getting approvals and everything. And unfortunately, the alert was put on that account because of Okay, they're both the same address, both the same people, so the alert carried over. So it's made it a little more difficult for me to get credit for that one, but I'm still able to do it.
Okay. So
So it's
in full transparency, she's had one business for 13 years. She's had the other one that was a sole prop. She just made it an actual corporation, an entity to start building business credit in January, which was 5 months ago, and started building business credit. This $5,000 approval is from the newer company, correct?
yes, that is for upscale staples. Yes.
Okay, perfect. And then here's another one that you got approved for. And this, I think, I love this message. Always check your junk mail. Got approved for this, another upscale stable. So this is a
Yes.
$15,000 approval for the company that you've been building business credit for 5 months now.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. All right, so we're taking a look at this, and then we can see here that 150,000 that you got through RTS with no personal guarantee. But then you made a mistake and you ended up figuring out it was not 150, it was 300 grand.
Actually, I love this phone call I got from them because Alice called me back from RTS, and she's my case manager over there because we're getting our DOT, we're going out on our own, and this is a factoring line of credit. So anybody in trucking knows what factoring is. So it was kind of funny. I get this call. She goes, "Well, we got a little bit of a problem with your credit line." I'm thinking, "Oh Lord, now what?" So it's going to be reduced, probably by half. I'm thinking 75. She goes, "Well, it's a little bit too low." And I go, "What do you mean too low?" She goes, "Well, the other company that we approved was 150. Yours was 300. Is that okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm good. We're good. We're good." She goes,
So they
"But," she goes,
ended up getting 300. And
"But the
then
thing is,"
go ahead,
she
Christine.
said, in 2 months' time, it'll be double that."
So when a lot of people, if you hear something like this and you hear a $300,000 approval, it immediately breeds skepticism. So let's take a look backwards here to what she's done, and it'll kind of give you a better idea of where we are. So, for example, the PNC approvals for 150, that's not one account for 150. The seasoned
That's
business
two.
she had was 100, right? And then the newer one was
Yes.
50. Okay, so
Yes.
these are both no personal guarantee, no personal credit check. She got 100 with her seasoned business. She got 50,000 approved with her newer business. Now, look, I see a lot of you asking questions, and what I will do is I will stay in the end, and Christine may stay if she has time to answer your questions. I will make sure your questions get answered. But if we stay and
Okay.
answer questions throughout, we'd be here
Let
forever.
me
Just let everybody know.
let me correct you on something here on
Sure.
PNC. That one we did actually have to PG
Okay, both of the
because
50 and the 100.
yes, both of those were personally guaranteed, but we also, because it was through the bank, we also had terms and conditions we had to fulfill. So I've had somebody online say, you're lying about this. No, actually, I'm not, because we had to be part of the bank to get it. We also had to have accounts with the bank in good standing. We had to verify our income with them. And yes, they report to the business credit, but we had to personally guarantee it because when we applied for this, they had just changed their policy to where we had to PG it. If we had gone in 2 weeks prior, it would have been a no PG, but they had just changed their policy.
Okay, and there's a
So,
couple things to be learned here. First of all, as Christine said, and I will show you later, this is not necessarily, even though I will walk through the steps fairly quickly today, this isn't an easy process, right? I mean, like to get a $100,000 credit line, she had to jump through some hoops. She had to supply some financial data. She had an account with the bank already. So these are some things we'll talk about as we go, but don't just think that because we have somebody here that got all these approvals that you're going to get these. Her case might be different than your case. Okay, it's different in every scenario. The kind of results she got. What about the rest of these? What about the Best Buy for 40, the Dell for 40, the auto financing, the roofing account, the 300 grand
else?
credit line you got? Is any of that have a PG?
Nope,
Okay, so
none of it.
everything else here has no PG. PNC changed right at the end where you had to attach a PG.
Right.
Okay, so we want to make sure we get all of the information correct. And then again, guys, she got another $300,000 credit line, another 15,000 approval. That's even outside of the 500. So she's still up at how much are you at with total approvals between these two businesses?
Almost $1 million. Pretty
Okay, so
close to 900,000.
So you're about 900,000, which is about right. I've tracked about 530,000 approvals for you. You just got another 315. So I'm tracking about the same thing you're tracking, which is pretty close to 900. Of the 900, how much of it was no credit check, no personal guarantee?
All of it was no credit check, no personal guarantee, except for the 150 with PNC. Other
Okay,
than that, everything else
so about
was no
750.
PG.
Okay, so
Yes.
all the rest of this you're seeing is with no personal guarantee, no personal credit check. Here's a look at just screenshots of some of her credit reports. You can start to see these accounts from her credit report. So you see $84,000 high here. We see $46,000 accounts, 33. So we see a lot of these accounts. Here's a total credit limit of 80,000 with one screenshot. So we see here that there's a lot of different approvals. We've looked at her holding cards. We've looked at the actual approvals. We've seen her screenshots from her credit report. Just try to find as many ways as possible to verify it. And then you're making some moves now. Now, this is stuff that the type of stuff that you're looking to do now, right? Buy vehicles.
Yes.
You're looking into land. I think you're possibly looking into buying a new business. I mean, tell us what this has led to, kind of where you were before you started building business credit to now where you are now that you've actually established the credit that you've established.
Well, actually, the big yellow truck right there, the big yellow one, that is actually a dream truck of mine. That's actually going to be a toy that I'll have for business use, of course. So, I'm only 5'3", and that thing, the bed of that thing's like 10, 12 feet high. So it tells you how huge this thing is. It's a $150,000 truck. I plan on having that by the end of next year with business credit.
Wow.
Now, as far as the farm and everything, that one kind of got pushed to the side. We're not going to get that one, but that's okay because we have different plans. We're expanding, and my company is in the process of a deal, which I can't give out too much information out of respect. We are looking to expand, and by the end of the year, I'm hoping to have at least 25 to possibly even 50 trucks on the road under my company's name and with some partnerships. So, I mean, we are in the process of expanding. We are in the process of moving forward. We're able to be able to do this and move forward and actually acquire bigger and better things. And it's not being greedy or selfish or self-centered. It's having a goal and move forward.
So you guys can
So I
see
mean,
that, and where were you before you even started building business credit as just a quick comparison to where you are now?
single truck. Well, we still have one single truck right now, but that's okay. We had a single truck. We had no business credit. We were living owner operator paycheck to owner operator paycheck, struggling to pay off the trucks and doing it in the worst of the economy, really. And we didn't have anything. So we had nothing at that point in time. We struggled. We did everything we could. And once I found the business credit, I struggled for 2 years to figure it out. Once I did, I took off.
Yeah, and that's
So
because there's a lot of benefits that I think everybody can gain that Christine has. And guys, like I said, my goal here is to wrap up within an hour and a half, but I don't know how this is going to work. I've never had somebody on here before, so if we go over, I promise to make good use of your time. So there's a lot of things we've talked about already, a lot of benefits here. Business credit has no effect on personal credit. What we're going to teach you how to get all of this credit without the personal guarantee, without the personal credit check. Now, again, some of it, like Christine did, you may elect to get with a personal guarantee. We have a lot of clients that do. We have a lot of clients that get most of the credit as Christine did, 750,000 plus and no personal guarantee credit. Then she elected with her own bank to decide to go ahead and personally guarantee a couple others. And that's your choice. You may just go with the 750 that she got without the PG, but you're going to have a chance because you're able to build business credit without a personal credit check. And as Christine says, it doesn't report on the personal credit report. It reports on the business credit report. So you're building your business credit. There's no personal guarantee unless you choose to provide one. That's your choice. But no personal guarantee means you're not personally liable for the business debts. They can't pursue you legally if you default. And this is where, people say, hey, look, what are you going to defraud the system? No, it doesn't mean that. a NASDAQ, SBA, SCORE, Inc., Entrepreneur, every financial authority that talks about this topic talks about this is why, as business owners, you want to separate your commercial and consumer credit. You want to separate your consumer and commercial liability. This is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it is with bigger businesses that figure this system out. You're just kind of getting a little insight, even if you're not one of those larger businesses. Business credit's fast to build. You can get vendor credit, not in the 8 months Christine learned the hard way it takes. I'm going to teach you how to leave this webinar and get vendor credit today. And then once you have that vendor credit established, it only takes you about 30 to 60 days to start to get store credit. Remember where Christine is. She's already getting 15,000 multiple approvals plus with a business she's had less than 6 months. So it's very fast to get there. Anyone can see your business credit reports. So it's another thing you need to know about. Again, anybody, your prospects, your clients, your competitors, anybody that wants to see those reports can see them, which is why you want to make sure you control what they see. And then business credit also gives you greater borrowing ability. Look, Christine has credit cards with some of these places on the personal side, but then she also has them on the commercial side, which gives her access to twice as much capital because she has business credit and personal credit, which is the only legal way to establish credit with both. You don't need collateral. You don't need cash flow. Good credit's not needed. So it's something that anybody can get regardless of whether or not you have what makes you lendable. And it lets your basically business fund itself and gives you a huge competitive advantage as well. The other thing you're going to know, there's very high approvals. So we've seen here that Christine just got approved for a $300,000 credit line. Well, that might seem really crazy and outrageous to a lot of people. But the reality is, in her business, as fast as her business is growing, she needs access to $75,000, $40,000, $100,000, $300,000 approvals. Giving her access to this much money helps her get the business built quicker, which is what she's doing. And these approvals are much higher than what you see in the consumer world. SBA estimates that they're about 10 to 100 times higher than in the consumer world. Even as a startup, you can get approved. You don't need revenue. You don't need collateral, as we mentioned. You can get approved when you can't get financing at a bank, but it also makes you more lendable. And this is what you've got to pay attention to with what Christine is saying. Christine didn't just go get business credit to go through a process and get business credit. She's literally getting credit that she needs to grow her business. She's got a credit with Omnitrax. She's got credit at a local roofing contractor. These aren't ones you may use, but she needs them for her business. So she's legitimately getting credit she needs for her business and using that credit. And because she's using the credit at a high level, then that reports on her business credit reports, and she's getting approved for more subsequent high approvals. You can get it as a nonprofit. As long as you have a U.S. business, you can do exactly what Christine's talking about. Here's how that works. When you start building business credit, you typically have no credit. And when you have no credit, if the reporting agencies know you exist, they'll give you a score like this, a 28, which is a failing score. 100's the highest you can get. $1,000 credit recommendation. If you build even one account, that credit recommendation starts to shoot up. So you can see here, $2,500. Here's somebody that's being recommended for nearly $7,000 with 2 accounts reporting. Here's somebody recommended for nearly $6,000 with 3 accounts reporting. Here's somebody with almost $66,000 with 4 accounts reporting. Here's somebody with $724,000 recommendation for credit with 15 accounts reporting. This is how business credit works. The more credit you accumulate, the more you're using that credit, the more the reporting agencies, DMB, Equifax, and Experian recommend you for higher amounts of credit. And it's those higher credit recommendations that end up resulting in the high approvals. And this is something I already showed you. Christine openly sharing her business credit report. Here's my score. Here's my credit limit recommendations. The more credit she gets, the more credit she uses, the higher the recommendation for credit gets. That's why she's being issued limits as high as $300,000 individually. So let's dive into the steps that she's taken, and then I'm going to have her chime in and kind of give some feedback of what she experienced through these steps. So the very first thing you've got to do is you've got to be legitimate to lenders and vendors. You've got to set up an entity. Okay. Now, as Christine said, just January of this year, she set up the corporation for the business, a sole proprietorship, a partnership. Those are entities you have to avoid because you are the business. They don't make you look credible. It's when you become a corporation or file for an LLC, which isn't truly an entity, but those two reflect that you're credible. And that's when the floodgates start to open up, as long as you have an EIN number. Business credit's built under an EIN, not a DUNS number. We'll talk about the DUNS number, but it's built under an EIN. So you've got to have those to even be able to get started. You've got to have a website. You've got to have an email address. I showed you a screenshot of Christine's website. This is because lenders and credit issuers are looking to see that you're credible. They want to make sure you're legitimate. These are the type of checks they're doing to make sure you're legitimate. You need to use a business phone number on your application, not a personal phone, not a home phone. You want to make sure you have a fax number. You need to get that phone number listed with 411. Okay. Why? Because you can't fake 411. You can't go to 411.com and list your own phone number. So it used to have to be picked up organically. You have to be on Google enough for them to pick you up, or you have to pay a service hundreds of dollars a year to do it. I'll talk to you later about how you can get that for free. You need to set up a business address or a virtual address. A virtual address is where you rent a mailbox address. You don't physically pay rent at a location. And I'll talk to you about a source that can help you with that later as well. You never want to use a P.O. box. You never want to use a UPS address. And using a home address can get you denied with some sources. Christine, what have you found regarding home addresses and Google Street Views?
Well, actually, there's one thing I found out is when we did list our home address. Yes, you can do it, but also keep in mind when Dun& Bradstreet picks that up, it's going to have a picture of your house sitting there on the report because it will show the address. So if you have it in a residential area, and I had with the person who put the alert on my account profile actually asked me, he goes, how can you have horses in a residential area or semi-trucks? And I had to explain to him, this is the office. This is where the office is. This is where we do our business out of. This isn't where I keep everything. So it can create some major red flags when you're trying to get funding. It's possible to do, don't get me wrong, but it creates a lot of headaches. It creates a lot of problems. You'll have lenders calling you, trying to verify your address. You'll have, it may even flag your account. So, if you want to look more credible, do the virtual offices, do the actual office buildings, brick and mortar, if you can. If you have to do it out of your home, just know that it can be an uphill battle. And also, too, and another thing, too.
Go ahead,
Christine. Oh, go ahead. I was also going to say, if you have a cell phone, you want to keep it with you, like me, for my horses, I have to be portable. I can't be tied to a phone cable. Have your VoIP number. Have that number. Have it forwarded to your cell phone, because if you have a cell phone, you're going to get denied. They don't want to see that. They want to see a professional number. They want to see either a virtual address or a home address or even a brick and mortar. Home address would be the absolute worst. Do not do P.O. boxes. Don't do it. It's just not worth it.
And as Christine said, guys, it's not that you can't do this. You can do it and get some approval. But then you're also going to get a lot of denials. You're also going to have a lot of questions. You're also going to have a lot of explaining, as she's mentioned, by having a home address, for example, show up on our commercial credit report. So that's why these things that we talk about are so important. You need to set up a business address or virtual address. I mentioned you need to make sure your name is not in a high-risk industry. Later, I'll show you a list of high-risk industries so you know the ones to avoid. You want to set up your bank account and have licensing you need. Why? Because a lot of these applications will ask for bank references. You can't have those if you don't have a business bank account set up. And you need to make sure that all the stuff is congruent. What's on the Secretary of State records is the same as what's on your application. It's the same as on your website, Yelp, Google. Why? Because the bureaus use this stuff. Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, they go ahead and they have crawlers that look at Yellow Pages, that look at Yelp, that look at your website, that look at your Facebook. This is where they're getting data to put on your report. So you need to make sure it's all congruent, because a legitimate business, it's all congruent. If it's not, this is one of the biggest reasons that we see people get denied. Now, the next thing you need to know is you need to see if the business credit reporting agencies exist. I'll talk to you later and show you a way to do this, where you can easily find out with each reporting agency to see if they exist. Why? Because you could be issued a failing business credit score even if you have no business credit reporting. You need to see if that's the case. You also need to get your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. Now, if you contact them, if you go online to their website, if you call them to get this, they will try to upsell you a package for $1,500 to $2,000, but it's not a package you need. I'll talk to you later about how you can actually get around this, and you need to get business credit monitoring. It can be expensive. It's $210 a month if you go to Experian and D&B to get that monitoring. I'm going to show you later how to get that monitoring for $24 a month, which saves you 90%. And then if you do pull your business credit reports and you have inaccuracies, you want to dispute them. Christine's already described that. She had people pulling your business credit reports, which she didn't give permission to. She didn't need to. You don't need to have permission to pull somebody's business credit reports. And that was throwing up red flags. And she went through a process of disputing those inaccuracies. I'll show you later how you're able to dispute those inaccuracies as well. So a lot of the questions I'm getting revolve around what we're about to talk about now. How you get this credit without the personal guarantee, without the personal credit check, how you know which type of credit you can actually apply for and get. Well, you start this process with trade credit. Now, these are what's called net 30 accounts, net 15, net 10, net 45. What a net 30 means is it means you have 30 days to pay the bill in its entirety. And this is often for things you buy regularly, office supplies, printers, things like that, where you saw some of those examples. And you want to focus on ones who are easy to get approved for and who report. That's what it comes down to. People that will give you credit even when you have none and who report. And we'll talk about some in just a couple slides here, and I'll talk to you and show you a bunch more later. And you've got to get 5 before you move to the next step, which we'll talk about. Now, you've got to have about 5 or more of these to move to the store credit and revolving credit account. And again, you may have to apply more for more than once with some of these vendors. Some of them will require that you place an order or 2 orders before they'll actually approve you. And you may need to buy some things you don't necessarily want or need to be able to get the initial accounts reporting. So when I start business credit reports, I start with a source called Gempler's. Gempler sells outdoor stuff and a bunch of others. I buy flashlights from them. Okay, it's not something I necessarily need for the office, but it helps me establish initial business credit for a business. So that's an example of this. And you also want to make sure that you can even donate unwanted items if you want to. So here's some of these starter accounts to get, and we'll talk a little bit more about Christine about the ones she got. Uline is one of the ones I like a lot. They sell shipping supplies. Quill sells office supplies. Gempler's is one of my faves, as well as Granger. They sell outdoor equipment. Christine, which vendors did you start with initially?
Well, initially we started with Uline, Quill, and Granger. That's who we started with.
Okay. And then I
So
think you had did you apply with Seton at one time too, right?
no, we never had Seton. We were
Okay.
going to, but we didn't. There was just nothing there. You can only buy so many first aid kits.
I know, right? I always bought first aid kits at Seton before they stopped reporting. So, guys, keep in mind when I listed her approvals, it didn't even mention any of these vendors, right? Because I don't want to list accounts she got before she got with us. Those are accounts she got before she got with us. That's not even the total amount that she's got approved. I just want to show you what she's done after we started working with her. But you did have some of those vendors initially. Uline, Quill, and Granger, you said, are the 3 that you really are 3 of the first vendors you started with.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
they are.
So when we look at this process, guys, you get approved with initial vendors, you buy stuff, you pay the bill, they report to the business credit reporting agencies. That gives you a report, it gives you scores. You then use the report and scores to get to the next step, which we'll talk about. And here's some screenshots here. People using Uline to buy computers, people using Quill here to buy printers. Here's some packages that have been shipped from Uline. So here's some examples of people that are using that type of vendor credit to actually get approved and to start building the business credit profile and score. Look, these people are getting stuff they actually need: computers, printers, etc. So remember, it's not a matter of just getting approved for a Uline Quill account, right? It's not about that. It's about getting credit you're actually going to use, because it's the using of the credit that reports on the business credit reports how much you're using, and that's what's going to get you the higher approvals. Now, once you've got those 5 trade lines, then you start moving on to what I call store credit. It really should be retail credit. This is with most major retailers that are out there today. When you have about 10 trade lines, you can start to get fleet credit. Even at 5 trade lines, you can start to get fleet credit. This is for fuel, auto repairs, maintenance. So keep in mind, when we talk to Christine, she's in the transportation industry. She gets a lot of fleet credit cards because she needs them. She's got a trucking company. She needs fleet credit. If you own a credit repair business or an accountant or financial services, you work in an office, you don't need fleet credit. Okay, I don't have any fleet credit because I don't have a fleet of vehicles. I drive my vehicle to and from work, right? So I don't need that. But what I have is, I have Amazon, I have Staples, I have Office Depot, because that's the stuff that we need. We're an office, we buy office supplies. So you're going to get the kind of credit that you need that works for you. Okay, 14 plus trade lines, you get to Visa cards, you get to MasterCards, you get to auto vehicle financing. Now, Christine, you were able to get approved or pre-approved for auto vehicle financing without the personal guarantee and without the personal credit check, right?
Yes, we were. Yes.
Okay, so do you know how much from them you ended up getting approved for or pre-approved?
The pre-approval was roughly around 180,000, but that was purchasing a group of big rigs that
Okay.
it did fall through, and we just backed out of it. We're like, you know what, we're not ready for this step 100% because the contracts fell through at the last minute. So thankfully, we didn't sign anything, but we were approved for 180 without a
180 with
personal
no
without a
personal
PG.
guarantee, no credit check.
Nope, and it was through Ally funding.
Okay, so you guys keep in mind, the first time I talked to Christine about this, she got pre-approved for 40. If we go back to the approval slide with her, I only showed 40. It ended up being 180. So it just goes to show how much higher her real approvals are than the conservative estimates that I've even showed. So 180 in vehicle financing without a PG, without a personal credit check. Does that matter to people that aren't building a fleet of vehicles? Maybe so, maybe not. But again, you want to get the kind of credit you're actually going to use. And here's some recent approvals. You can see May 4th. So these are ones I just grabbed from our group that I just scrolled through and found. Here's a $5,000 Sam's Club. This is a MasterCard. Okay, Sam's has regular cards and MasterCards, Visa cards you can use anywhere. Okay, Lowe's for $10,000. Okay, here is a Kanoko account. They have a Uline, they have a Granger, they have a Quill. Now they have a Kanoko approval here. Here's a Pilot Flying J for $5,000. So none of these are ones you saw on other slides. These are all fairly recent here within the last couple of weeks. I just went through some of our Facebook page in one of our groups and grabbed some of these approvals so you can see what store credit approvals actually look like. Okay. Now here are cash credit approvals. These are the ones you get: the Visa, the MasterCard. This is one for 12 grand and one for 10 grand and one for 22. Here's a Chase for 10 grand. Here's a 8,000 Inc account. Here's a 7,000 Unpak Bank, 50,000 Amex, a 10,000 Bank of America, 24,000 Amex, a 50,000 Amex, a $9,000 Amex. Here's an Inc card, which Chase Inc 14,000. They're issuing some very high approvals without PG, without personal credit check. Here's multiple credit cards, including a Navy Federal Credit Union Visa card that somebody got. Here's an Applied Bank card. Here's a Bank of America card. Okay, so again, you choose. There's plenty of these, PNC included, that you can get without a personal guarantee. But in some cases, if you supply your tax returns, if you don't mind supplying a personal guarantee, as Christine has done with some cards, to the cards she mentioned, then you can get higher approvals. Any of this you can get without a personal guarantee. Any of this you can get without a personal credit check, as many of these people did, but some people choose to provide other information to get more. Perfect example is Fundbox. We got approved for Fundbox for $30,000. We wanted more. We voluntarily supplied our tax returns and they bumped us up to 100 grand. Did we need to supply our tax returns? No, we could have stayed at 30 and we could have kept using the line and they would have eventually bumped us up little by little by little, but we got nothing to hide. We got no problem supplying our tax returns to bump it up from 30 to 100. But a lot of that is your choice. Any of this can be supplied without the personal guarantee and without the personal credit check. And here's one of my friends and one of our clients, Marlon. I was looking for a fast way to get money to grow my consumer credit business. After failing to get approved for loans in several banks, I discovered Credit Suite. After getting initial vendor accounts, I continued applying, getting all types of credit. Now have over 100 business credit cards in my wallets, totaling over $1 million in total available credit. I have fleet credit that I use for auto repairs and fuels, and have cash credit cards with most major banks, including Bank of America and Wells Fargo. I secured almost all this credit without a personal credit check and without a personal guarantee, and I've been able to get loans with many sources, including PayPal and Cabbage with low rates and loan amounts of $100,000. Christine, he has a lot more cards in his hands
Yes,
than you were showing.
yes,
You got to step
yeah,
it up.
yeah. I'm actually I think I've met my max in some of the people on the group, but that's okay. That's quite all right because it just makes me want to be successful too.
So
So
guys, look, I don't want to sit here and convince you that this is going to be easy, okay? So building business credit on your own, it's not an easy process. Christine already mapped out how in the beginning she went 8 months and wasted with a company and got 2 accounts versus the 5 months she's been building this new company and all the approvals that she got. The process is about trial and error when you do it on your own. It takes a bunch of time. And I'm going to show you later how to condense years of this process to months. But you need to know if you're doing this on your own, you're applying, getting denied, applying somewhere else, getting denied, applying somewhere else, getting approved, then applying somewhere else, getting denied. It's just trial and error. So you have to keep that in mind. Also, you should know that you're going to have a lot of questions that are unanswered. You don't know who to go to have those questions answered when you're doing it on your own. So I don't want this to be easy. And here's some of the questions that we get all the time. We get it on YouTube, Facebook. This is just I went through in one day in April and just grabbed a bunch of the questions I'd seen for the last few weeks. How do I get my business listed with 411? I've had this, how do I change? Do I change my LLC? Should I use a home address? Should I not? This is my first year running my business. What's the procedure? Where do I start? What's the easiest cash cards to get without a PG? What do you think? Why do you think we're getting denied for business credit? I'm spending $800 a week in gas. Anyone know of a gas card I can get? How can I get a small business loan? What is Lex Fuel Card a hard credit pull? Home Depot just informed me that I need a personal guarantee. Okay, any suggestions? I have accounts with these companies. Will they report in a different name? I just started a travel company. I'm looking to get business references. Any inquiries? I mean, so guys, you can see here. Does this company? How does they work? Do they report? Is an LLC better to get business credit? These are the kind of questions. This is where people get stuck, right? And you can see the questions go on and on. I have 15 trade lines. Not one of them is reporting. What do I do next? How do I have to spend money with my accounts once a month, or how often do I spend them? Okay, I noticed they're asking for personal information online. How do I get around this? Okay, I've been doing this for about 4 years, getting a toll-free number. How long does it take to get that number? So you guys can just see the questions that go on and on and on and on that people have. And I put this slide here because I don't want you to think that what I'm telling you is necessarily easy to do. When you're doing it on your own, as you've heard Christine, and you've seen all these people, the problem is where do you go if you need help? Now, we have groups, multiple groups that we manage, and I had somebody ask once in the group, they said, Ty, why don't you correct all the inaccuracies people are floating in this group? And my response was simple, because 85% of what's being discussed in this group isn't accurate. If I tried to correct every inaccuracy, my full-time job would be to do so. That's the problem. When novices go to other novices to get answers, it typically does not end well, because you have a lot of people that insist they have the answer. And Christine, you've seen that firsthand, right?
I've actually gotten into heated debates with people I'm like, no, you don't have to do a personal guarantee. And they're like, yes, you do. You have people who come in that, unfortunately, this is the downside of these groups too, is you have people come in who they've been in the business industry and they're old school. You have to personally guarantee. No, you don't. No, you do not. And then they come back with, well, how bad is your credit? Well, it's not the best, but I'm not skirting anything. I'm not hiding anything. Everything's out there. So where's the problem? And they're like, well, it's illegal what you're doing. I'm like, no, it is not. You
It,
know,
it, and
it's
this is the same thing we deal with. We see this all the time. I mean, I had a Facebook post the other day and I thought, I'm going to dig in. I just want to see how far it'll go. And I had a guy, his job is to do SBA loans. And the guy is
mhm,
telling me that nothing exists where you can get it without a guarantee. I'm like, dude, we've helped 15,000 people. Like, I happen to know something about this and insist that it does not work. He says, show me proof. I start showing him like 150 real approvals. It wasn't enough proof. His proof that it wasn't true was that these applications ask for a social security number. And I told him, I said, but you don't have to put it in there. If you apply without it and you have established business credit, you can get approved. Oh, no, that's not the truth. It's not possible. And the interesting thing was the last thing he ever said was nobody should pay to build business credit. I just use this form. Everybody should use the form. And I'm like, well, you're clueless. Why would anybody else use a form that makes them clueless? But that is the problem, is that there's so much bad information out there that don't think that this could be an easy process, even though I've mapped out the steps. Because again, there's a bunch of pitfalls. You're hearing from a bunch of people that don't know what's going on. The biggest problem that I see is that people will say, hey, Gimpler's reports, or they don't report. I just talked to Mary at Gimpler's and this is what she said. You can never listen to front end reps. You have to go to
no,
actual underwriters to get answers, right? Or otherwise it's never the
yes.
correct information.
Well, I look at it this way. I'm not going to have anything on my credit report that doesn't report. Now, with that being said, there are some, like this $300,000 line of credit, that's not going to report because it's a factoring service through the RTS fleet card I have. And I'm okay with that because they check my business credit. Yes, they had to do a soft pull on my husband to verify, we are who we said we are because we are trucking industry. But other than that, I checked the credit right after that. There was no inquiries, nothing. So, you have people out there who are saying that you have to personally guarantee everything. If that's the case, people's credit reports are going to have 50 plus inquiries in a year with really, really bad credit scores because of all the hits. It's not possible to build business credit if you have to personally guarantee everything. You wouldn't have any credit either way.
Right.
It's
And
not
this
possible.
and this is what everybody needs to understand. It wasn't designed to be that way. Business credit exists for your business to fund itself. Business credit exists to separate consumer and business credit. Consumer credit limits are a tenth or a hundredth of what business credit limits are because consumer credit limits were never designed to fund a business. Consumer credit was never designed to fund a business. This is why business credit exists. The problem is this. The problem is that small business owners are novices. They have all these questions because when you get to be 10 million plus, you have CFOs, you have financial savvy people in your organization that know the stuff that Christine and I are teaching here. But when you're a small business, you don't have that financial savvy person in your corner. So you don't know what to do like the bigger businesses do. The bigger businesses succeed because they know these steps. You don't in a lot of cases because you don't know these steps. But it doesn't mean it's
No.
not possible. It just means you don't have the right information.
And that's another thing I want to point out too is I saw somebody on there and it really it drove me crazy. This person is like, well, in place of your social, put your EIN where your social is. You can't do that. You cannot do that. And she's like, well, I got approved. I got approved for this. I got approved for that. I'm like, you're setting yourself up for a really big surprise here at the end. And they don't want to see it. They're
Right.
like, well, I'll put my EIN and my social. You can't do that. You just leave it blank. Leave it blank. And if they ask for a personal guarantee, you don't want to provide it, say, not at this time. Keep moving.
All right. Now,
I'm
in
sorry.
so far we've talked about the steps and overview, and I'm at 6 o'clock. I have 30 minutes, and if I get in to show you exactly how Christine did this, I admit I couldn't possibly go over a little 6:30. It could be over 90 minutes. So I'm going to ask you for your permission. Everybody tuning in, are you okay if we kind of take a detour here, and I'll show you exactly how Christine got the results she did, how she went from failing on her own, working with a few companies, not getting the results, and then turned around so quickly and got the results, and then did it for a second business. Okay, so everybody's cool because I want to be respectful of everybody's time if I go a little over. Okay, so let me show you exactly how Christine did what she did. Now, this is something we call the Business Finance Suite. And this is basically one system where you could build business credit step by step, and you can also get all different kinds of financing and loans. So let's start with the Business Credit Builder. So I've talked to you and made you a lot of promises, I think, so far, and told you I would give you more information as we went on. So let me honor all of those now. So business credit starts, as we talked about, with the very first step of building business credibility. This is where the process starts, because you've got to set up your business credibly. So remember, you've got to choose a name that reflects that you're not in a high risk industry. Now, that if you come in and say you haven't selected a business name, and you'll see here that our finance suite is very intuitive, right? If you have a business name, you click yes, you enter your information, you move on pretty quick. But if you say no, well, then we let you go right to the Secretary of State records with your state to set up the business name. We provide videos here to teach you exactly how you need to set up your business name, things you need to know. You can even come down here and switch the whole thing from English to Spanish, and voila, everything is Spanish. The closed captions on the videos even are Spanish. So it's really easy to navigate. Now, if you come in here, you can see here's a list, and we constantly update this list of high risk industries. So the first thing is you don't want to choose a high risk industry, because if you choose an industry that the name reflects your high risk, that can get you denied for business credit. You'll see that our system and solution is all about getting you the fastest results you can get, period. And we do that by making sure that everything is set up right from the beginning, including that you're not choosing a high risk industry, for example. You've got to get that business address set up. Now, we work with a company called Alliance Virtual Address. So Alliance does virtual addresses, and if you ever wanted a resource for virtual addresses, you click resource. You can see here we have multiple. It's simple. So this way, if you need help setting up the business name, if you want help setting up the business address, you click resources, and there's resources like Regis and Alliance available. You can in one click go right to them to set up the virtual address. It just makes it easy. We help you set up the right entity, but we also pay for your 411 listing for you, and here's why. 411 is essential. You cannot get a lot of vendors like Uline and Quill without it. And we found that a lot of our clients weren't doing it. So what we did was we just came in and said, we're going to do it for you. So if our clients come in and say, yes, they want to do it, they enter the phone number, and we use a service called List Yourself. You can use it too. It's about $360 a year. It's $30 a month to keep your business listed. We indefinitely pay for that for our clients. Forever, it's paid for, because we know it's so important to getting approved that we pay for it. Even if you're not working with us, you still need to get your number listed with 411. List yourself as a shortcut to be able to do that. We help you set up the website, the email, the EIN, the business licenses, the bank account. We teach you how your bank credit score works. Did you know you have a credit score from your bank? Well, that determines if you're ever going to get bank loans. So in the video training, we teach you this type of stuff. We teach you the congruency of your bank account, making sure that everything is set up, what lenders and credit issuers are looking for. And that's the whole secret here. Look, we've all been through this before. You've applied for a credit card, and one of two things has happened. You either got an instant approval, or you got that dreaded message that you'll hear in 7 to 10 days, and it's always a denial. Well, these steps in step one help you set up the business credibly to make sure that you will get the automated approval, not the decline. Christine, when you went through step one, did you find some things that were off on your business that you had to correct to start moving forward and start getting the approvals?
Honestly, we really didn't have too much that was wrong. I mean, other than we had to list the phone number, our 800 number, and then our local number. But otherwise, everything else was pretty much set up the way it was, because we had a company do it. I think it was LegalZoom that went ahead and did it.
Perfect. And LegalZoom is available in step 1.1 as a resource, just so everybody knows. Now, we have other clients that have went and got denied for loans, and then they came in, they fixed step one, they found inaccuracies, and they immediately turned around and got approved. So it kind of depends on how legitimate your business is set up now, whether you did it on your own, or like Christine says, they use LegalZoom. Now, the next thing you need to do is get set up with the reporting agencies. Remember, we told you that that was important, because you could have negative information reporting and not even know about it. Plus, you need to set up your Dun & Bradstreet number, or your DUNS number with Dun & Bradstreet. So right through here, if you say you don't have a DUNS, in one click you set up and your DUNS is done. Boom, you click, you get set up with Dun & Bradstreet, takes about 10 minutes to get set up and you're good. You can also come in and do this free search with Experian and Equifax in one click as well. So you can come in and do that free search to see if you're set up with them now by quickly searching their database, by entering your company name right here in their database, and then you enter basically the city. I'm not even going to enter the city, and then you could basically come right here. Now, what's going to happen is that it's either going to tell me nothing, that I exist, or that I exist with trade lines by this quick search. And this tells me if they know I exist. If they know I exist and I have no trade lines, then more than likely I'm going to have a low score, that 27 to 29 score that I actually showed you. And this will go through and give you even more options of what you can get when you go through. You can see right here, this is my entity. I have trade lines. You can see right here that this is my entity. And you can see I have trade lines, and then it gives you the ability to pay for your business credit reports, which start the best one you're going to get for the profile, not just a score, is $50 a month. I'm going to show you how to shave all that off of the price. But this is really easy to set up with the reporting agencies. Now, the next step you take is to start building business credit. Now, you can start building business credit with the sources that we talked about so far, the Uline, the Quill. These are the ones, the Gimplers. These are the ones Christine used, the one that I use as well, okay? And this is off because it's zoomed in a little. Now, what's nice about this is that every source we list the actual underwriting guidelines for. So you can see here that who it reports to, this is very important. An account that reports to multiple reporting agencies is more value to you than one that reports to only one. You can also see the actual underwriting approval guidelines. Guys, they don't publish this. We have relationships with the underwriters of every one of these sources that gives us the information that you can't get online. So look at how we do this, and this makes a little bit more sense. First of all, you come in, we tell you at each step how many trade lines you need to have to move to the next step. So you know how many trade lines you need to have to get to the next step. We color, you'll see later that these would all be grayed out if you couldn't apply. So we put the ones in color that you can qualify for. Then we also come in and list the underwriting guidelines. And on top of listing the underwriting guidelines and making it simple, one click to apply, we also come in and list the tiers of credit to apply for down the right side. So there's 4 different ways that we make sure that the credit you're applying for is credit you can actually get. And that becomes so important because that's what saves you the time. That's what takes it from trial and error to actually being credit you can successfully get. And beyond Uline and Quill and Granger and places like Labor Ready, we've got services that'll give you $7,500 credit line and give you a phone service. We've got places you can get websites set up, SEO services, places you can get gas. Any of those are all available to our clients to be able to get as actual vendor sources. So it makes it easy for you to get the credit you actually want while you're building that initial business credit. Now, once you've got that, then it starts to report to your credit reports, and you're going to want to monitor your business credit reports. Now, I showed you it's $49 a month for Experian. If I want Dun & Bradstreet, I can click right here, and you'll see it's $159 a month for D&B right here. $149. Oh, nice. They're giving a bargain now. They've lowered it $10. So you can see here it's $149 a month, and it's $50 a month for Experian. As you saw, it's pretty expensive. You have to get credit monitoring. Why? Because you have to know how many accounts you have reporting to move to the next tiers of credit. So in this step, we teach you how to read the credit reports. Very important, because the credit reports don't have credit issuer's name, for example. They only have categories. The credit reports on here actually have multiple different scores. So by teaching you how to navigate and control the credit reports, you can build it faster. Remember, our whole motto is to take years of this process and condense it to months. But then again, how do we get around spending all the money to spend $210 a month, $50, and $150 or $160 with D&B, which is now $150? So how do you save the $200 a month on credit monitoring? You go right here to report dashboard. When you go to report dashboard, we actually plug into our nav integration. Our nav integration gets you access to Experian and D&B. You can see your full credit report, business information, the facts, the same kind of reports that Christine was sharing on social media, summary data, judgments, tax liens, trade data, UCC filings. Okay, you can actually come in here and see summaries of, you can see all the accounts you have reporting here, the days beyond term. You can see public records. You can set up alerts when things change on your credit report. And you can do the same thing with D&B too. Here's your score. Here's all your information, your summary, your lawsuits. You can click accounts and see all your accounts reporting with Dun & Bradstreet, so you can see how many accounts you have reporting. Now you know you have enough accounts reporting to move to the next step. Now Equifax, guys, is only 20 bucks a month. So it's not part of this, but it's only 20 bucks a month. But for Experian and DMB, this is through $25 to $24 a month to our clients. It's the cheapest you'll ever get. Or again, you go through them direct, and you're also going to be paying basically $150 as we saw with D&B, and now 50 bucks a month with Experian. And also, if you have inaccuracies on your credit report, then in one click, fix inaccuracies. We make it simple to say, oh, no, I got issues. And then you can update your credit reports and fix inaccuracies with all the credit reporting agencies with ease as well. So Christine just told you that she had a problem with somebody trying to sell trade lines that pulled her credit, that created alerts. She had to go through a process to dispute to get that removed. Well, again, with our advising team and through this process, she's able to do so. This isn't just a step-by-step system to go through and build business credit. What happens is you're working hand in hand with our business advisors, and they help you through every step of the process. Now, Christine, have you had a lot of interaction working with our advising team?
Yes, I have. Actually, I have. Not as of lately, but I have when I first got started. And it was a lifeline because you guys understood this. And that's another thing I want to explain too to some of the, I've had questions and my Facebook Messenger has blown up. It's kind of funny. Everybody's like, how do we read these reports? What I got approved for is not showing up on these reports. And I have to explain to them that unfortunately, what you are approved for on Dun & Bradstreet and on Experian is only going to show what you, as far as your high limit.
Right.
Now, on your Equifax, if it reports, it'll show the whole balance.
So Christine cut out. What she's saying, guys, is that the limits don't show on your credit reports, even though lenders and credit issuers have them, only the recent amount of credit you've used. And that's where she's getting a lot of questions. So as Christine just kind of laid this out, what happens is our business advisors help you as much as you need help. We'll spend 30, 60 minutes on the phone call with you. I'm even going to tell you later how to get 30 minutes without even 30 minutes bonus with our advising team. So what happens is when you have all those questions that I showed you people have, you don't get stuck. You immediately have an advising team that will help you through it. As Christine just said, you stop needing them. Once you start building the business credit, you get through the initial hump, you get the DUNS number, you get past all the issues, you rarely ever need the advising team. Then you're so successful, you do it for multiple businesses. Most of our clients follow suit. But in the beginning, they are your lifeline, because instead of relying on groups of novices where 85% of the information is bad information, you're working with advisors who've helped 15,000 people build business credit to help you expedite and get the results. Once you've got these accounts reporting and the ability to monitor them, then you start getting real credit. Here's the Wawa, here's the Ryder, the 7-Eleven, the Meijer. See how these are grayed out? This means I don't have enough credit yet to be able to qualify for this. Now, of course, this isn't our real credit in the system, but we use it for a demo. But here's Amazon, Valvoline, HD Supply. Guys, almost every major retailer offers business credit. Staples, Lowe's, AutoZone, AB Supply. Here's Macy's, here's Budget, here's Wex and Quick and Conoco and Global Fleet and Exxon and all, and it goes on and on and on. Okay, I mean, we have almost every major retailer offers business credit. Again, every one of these, we list the underwriting guidelines. We list who they report to. We give the exact instructions to get approved, even the back link application to the commercial apps to actually get approved. As you continue to build more business credit, we tell you how many trade lines you need to get to the next tier. You start getting Royal Farms and Staples and Shell and Home Depot and Walmart, and every account you see here is available without a personal guarantee and without a personal credit check. And it just goes on and on. You continue to be able to qualify for more and more credit, as you saw Christine do, even to a point where you're coming in and getting auto vehicle financing. You're able to get fleet cards. You're able to get MasterCards. You're able to get Visa cards. You're able to get more and more and more credit as you go. You're even able to access non-reporting accounts. So there's a lot of accounts like Sprint. For example, PNC Bank, we just added. Okay, so we add about 20 accounts plus per 60 days. We continue to add more. AT&T, these are all credit sources that will give you financing and credit, but they don't report, but they still provide value to you because you can get credit, for example, at places like Apple, Best Buy, et cetera, et cetera. The cool thing about this is you also have access to a finance team, of finance processors, finance officers that help you with all aspects of business loans as well. So you can get financing just based on your revenue, regardless of personal credit quality. If you have good credit and you're a startup, we can get you up to 150,000 in unsecured financing. You can get equipment financing. You could use 401k, stocks, bonds, commercial real estate, account receivable, purchase order financing, private equity financing. What we've done is we found that the problem is there's a lot of financing available for small business owners. They just don't know where to go. If you go to On Deck, they can only help you if you have revenue and if you've been in business 1 year. What if you don't have 1 year in business? What if you don't have 10 grand in revenue? Then we still have sources that can help. What if you're a startup? On Deck can't help. We've got sources that can help. By pulling together over 1,000 lenders, what we do is take your information, cross-check it against underwriting guidelines for over 1,000 lenders, and we basically render with color all the ones that you can actually qualify for, so you know all the financing you can qualify for. And we deal with about 35 different kinds of financing, every legitimate kind of financing. So you have your own finance officers that will develop a finance blueprint. We help you go through what we call a graduation process. We graduate you from starting funding to term loans, lines of credit, then to SBA loans, and we help you every step of the way. And we negotiate, get you the best terms, all of that. So when it comes time to loans and things like that, where Christina's getting into, then you have us to help you with all the loans, even as a startup, to help you along the way as well. The cool thing about this is you can also use this to run your own business credit and building business. Okay, so you can come in and add clients. You can manage clients on your client dashboard. You can enter people in for funding if you want to offer it as a service. You can add sales reps if you have access, which we'll talk about later, how you can do that as well. You can manage your funding commissions. You can actually get the ability with our executive program to get 50% of whatever funding we get. Sometimes earn thousands of dollars there. You get training webinars. We only do training every week, once a week, for only our partners. Only our partners have access. There's 5 years of training on everything you need to know, from how to make money hosting and speaking at seminars, to marketing and automation, to different things, 17 essentials your website must have, starting your own podcast. This is only training we do exclusively for our partners. And then we've even got sales rep training and partner training. So if you are interested in offering business credit and financing as a service, then you actually have a 7-step training process that teaches you exactly how to actually offer business credit and financing as a service. So this whole system, the whole finance suite's white label. Your logo would be here. Our advisors and our finance team introduce themselves as working with your company. We don't have any branding. It's neutral. This is completely white label. You are in the business of offering business credit financing, and you do it in your name, white label, using our technology, our advising team. So it puts you in that business. You can even click business valuations, and this is cool. Anytime you want to, you can actually type in this information about your business, and you can see in real time this number calculates and changes. You can find out what your business is worth at any given time without actually having to pay for it. Anytime. You could do 100 valuation looks a month to see approximately what your business is worth. This is using BizEquity. Business valuations, guys, are about 500 conservatively up to 2 grand. You don't ever have to pay for it. So if you want to know at any given time what you're doing and what your business is worth, that's all part of the finance suite as well, versus having to pay the thousands of dollars to actually be able to get that as well. So again, when we look at this, there's a lot of cool things you could do, and hopefully you're coming in with a lot of information that can help you be able to succeed. And then also, as you can see here, a lot of information about how Christine and people like this have went from struggling to get results to actually succeeding. And here's one of our clients that actually was able to pay off a $417,000 tax lien, was getting ready to close his practice, and then we ended up getting him $1.5 million to expand his practice. He even ran for public office. And we did this because we were able to combine a bunch of different financing to get him more money, than a bank or one source could get them when they only deal with one kind of financing. So look, you're watching this webinar on your computer, phone, or tablet because you want the easiest and fastest way to get money to grow. And look, you probably already struggled to even access the money and business credit that you want to get. So why, maybe, I don't know, you've learned enough here to maybe take some steps and do it on your own. And it might take you years, but you could still succeed. Why I think that maybe working with us on our finance suite can help you is that you're getting business credit that's linked to your EIN, not your social, through the top selling business credit system. We've helped over 15,000 people build business credit. Here's what's crazy. We don't have one complaint anywhere online, not one, ever. You can look at our website. We have hundreds of reviews with Trustpilot, hundreds of reviews with Sotellus. You can see they're all not just people giving us stars, they're giving full comments about their experience. Do you know how hard it is to help 15,000 people when not have one customer complaint online? We do that because we have the best solution that makes it the fastest way to get those kind of results. That's why it's the top selling system. You're getting access to funding for your business. You can build business credit and financing in English and Spanish. Our team is bilingual as well, so we can help you and your clients through English or Spanish. Okay, you can also come in and get the cutting edge technology to meet the credibility requirements before you apply. Okay, we talked about some of those credibility requirements, but not all of them. With the finance suite and the advisors, you know them all. You set up your business name without being high risk. You set up your business entity. You get your address set up. You don't have to pay for 411. We pay for that for you. We set up your help you set up your website, your email, your licensing. We help you set up your bank account, your merchant account. Okay, you also get set up with all 3 reporting agencies. Dun & Bradstreet charges you up to $2,000 to just activate your credit profile and get your duns with them. You don't have to pay any of that. We help you set up with D&B, Equifax, and Experian and activate your credit profiles with all of them, even getting your DUNS number without paying that money. And we help you fix the inaccuracies. You even heard Christine had things on her credit report that shouldn't be there. We're helping her through that process to fix those. That's one of those areas people get stuck when you don't know what to do. Okay, the largest supply of starter vendors. We got a lot of stuff that you're never going to hear about in forums because we help people get the ability to report. So then they actually are in our system, and most people don't even know about them because we helped get them the ability to report. You're getting the biggest selection of store credit, Visa cards, MasterCredit. You saw a lot of questions and people said, how do I get the Visa card? How do I get the MasterCard? And you've seen a lot of success stories of people that have done that. Auto vehicle financing, Christine got 180,000 in auto vehicle financing. So you can see how effective that is. No personal credit check, no personal guarantee. Do you want to provide a personal guarantee? Christine did with 2 accounts. She got an extra 150,000 because she built business credit and because she was willing to provide a personal guarantee. That's your choice. But you saw over $750,000 she got without the personal guarantee or credit check. You get cash flow financing with no consumer credit checks, asset-based financing if you have collateral with rates as low as 2%. Unsecured financing, 0% rates up to 150 grand, even as startups. All that financing is available. Private money, alternative SBA, term loans, lines of credit. We even work with lenders that have no credit check and will give you credit lines up to $100,000. We have other ones that with a 620 score will get you approved for $150,000. And with our partner program, you get everything you need to basically run a successful business offering business credit financing if you want to. Maybe you don't want to be a partner. It's like a franchise without paying a hefty franchise fee. You get training and contracts and sales scripts and seminar details, and I'll show you all this later during the Q&A. An actual website, press releases, PowerPoints, ebooks, email, social media content, everything you need to market and promote your own business credit and financing business, you're getting articles. And it's all in Spanish as well. Finance training, finance videos, finance flyers, direct funding, client dashboard. You can train your sales reps. We help you close your first sales. Okay, so maybe this makes sense. Again, you got a couple options. We just went through and showed you exactly how Christine did it using our system. We talked about the steps if you want to do it on your own that you can go through and do it. But if you are interested in working with us to help do it for you, to take the years and condense it to months, well, then I want to make sure that since you're sitting with me here for 90 minutes, Christine and I want to make sure that you have the opportunity to get something special. So if you are getting started as part of the webinar, then what we're going to do is give you a discount and some really cool bonuses I think you're going to love. Now, our top plan, if you look at our website, is about $71.76. That's how much it costs with payments. But again, we don't do discounts very often. Here's why. We're the only ones that have anything like what I'm showing you. Nothing like this exists outside of us. We've built this and spent millions literally of dollars to build this and build an infrastructure to get you what you can get. And we want to make sure that you have a discount because you're hanging out with us. So you've got a couple options. Option one, you're getting business credit loans through what we call our core program. This is what Christine has. It's 7 payments of $497 or 1 payment of only $24.97. It's usually 20% higher, and it's usually $100 a month higher than this. If that's too rich for your blood, don't worry. I'm going to talk about that in just a second. Option two, you get that program and you actually offer business credit and financing as a service. That's 7 payments of $597, $100 more, and 1 payment of $34.97. That is also at a $500 discount. So we're giving you discounts on both programs. I'm going to show you in a minute how you can access that. So keep in mind, it's typically going to take you 18 to 24 months to do on your own what you can do with us in only 6 months. You just heard that from Christine. She spent a year trying on her own to get 2 accounts, and then she came with us, and now in her first business, we built it out, and now in her second business, her second run, she's already got, we got to figure that out, in 6 months or left. So it saves you years of time. And again, you got to ask, how much is that extra 18 months worth of time gonna cost you? If you spend that, how much will it hurt your business to not have money you need for another year and a half? And honestly, you're also going to pay more money to do it on your own anyways. You're going to pay $210 a month for monitoring, whereas with us, you spend 24. You're going to spend money for the DUNS number, where we are showing you how to get that and everything you need to activate your profile for free. We're paying for your 411. You don't ever have to wonder how much money your business is worth, which costs thousands of dollars. So all that comes as part of our program. So if this makes sense, keep in mind, we'll customize a payment for you. If $497 is too much, if $597 is too much, let us know. Let us work with you. Don't say, I love this, I want this, but I can't afford it. Tell us, talk to us, and let us know what you can afford, and let us see what we can figure out for you. We will customize a payment plan for you. We also work with services like Fundbox Pay, where they will finance this for you. And last time I checked, it's like $200 a month. They'll finance it over 12 months and not even make you make a payment for 2 months. So there's options there which can work. And then, of course, we work with a bunch of business financing that can help you get the money that you need as well. And if you think that everything that you get, you're getting access to everything with your first payment. So we're shifting the risk to us. What we're saying is we'll give you everything, even when you make 1 payment, because we're that sure that you're going to love everything that we're actually doing. And we know that it's going to work for you. So again, to get started, creditsuite.com/webinar. That'll give you access to the discounted price, and I'm going to have some bonuses, so hold on. I want to show you those as well. And we'll take a look at the easy enrollment form. So if you go to creditsuite.com, you're going to see 2 different options. You're going to see Core, which is just to build business credit, get financing. You're going to see VIP, which is to offer this as a product and a service as well. So you can actually come in and you can actually get both of those, whichever you choose. Now, once you complete the order form, you immediately receive login credentials and you get access to your own finance suite. And I've got 4 bonuses that I want to make sure that everybody doesn't normally get, but you will get as part of this. A 30-minute initial coaching call with our team to help you with anything you need help with. I'm throwing in that $24 a month credit monitoring that everybody doesn't have access to. It's in a beta, but you're going to get access to that. The free business valuation. You can get an estimate of what your business is worth anytime you want, but you're also going to get a 28-page full valuation report of your business, whether you use it now or later, which is usually worth $1,000. We're throwing that in. And I'm going to make you a published author, because if you own a business and you are an author, it gives you a ton of credibility, and that's worth about $700. So I'm giving you thousands of dollars worth of bonuses that you get as well. And we give you a conditional guarantee worth, if it's not worth every penny of what you paid, or that you don't think that you'll be able to make what you spent with our partner program, we give you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. Guys, look, this is real simple. Building business credit is a process. If you work with us, we will take years and we will condense it to only months, okay? But if you work with us and say, this isn't for me, we give you your money back. There's no question asked. This is the second reason that we have no complaints in the lifetime of our company. One, we do exactly what we say we will do, and we produce the results that we say we will produce. Second, if you're not happy and you don't want to be here, we give you your money back and you go on your way. That's okay. because we want to work with people that are serious and want to be part of this process and succeed. If that's not you, if you get in and say it's not for me, we give you your money back, no questions asked. We don't want to force you to be here if you don't want to be here. We only want our advisors to work with people that really do want to have the kind of success that you've heard Christine talk about today. So to recap, you're getting your own finance suite with 24/7 access, concierge advisors that help you through every part of the process. We're helping you get set up with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian, and get your duns to avoid paying them any money. We're helping you get what's called free Experian Smart Business access to see overviews of what's on your Experian report, which costs $600. The largest supply of starter vendors, revolving store credit. You're getting the unsecured credit for startups, finance officer support, 411 listing, the Visa card, the MasterCard, the hard to find cash credit sources. We're helping you fix inaccuracies with all 3 reporting agencies. You're getting fleet credit without a personal guarantee, auto vehicle financing. Christine just told you she already got approved for 180 grand of auto vehicle financing. Credit monitoring for only $24 a month saves you $2,200 a year. It's usually $2,500 if you do it on your own. Think about that. Credit monitoring costs you $2,500. With us, it's $300. That saves you alone $2,200. And right now, you're able to get started for only $2,500. So the credit monitoring savings alone really covers your enrollment. Cash flow, collateral-based financing. With our partner program, you're getting basically the equivalent of a business in a box. Everything you need to successfully market and sell business credit, articles, press releases, everything in English and in Spanish, so you can service both markets. And don't forget our free bonuses: the 30-minute initial coaching call, the credit monitoring, which saves you $2,200 a year, the business valuation report, which is about $1,000. You get it for free, and you get ongoing business valuation estimates to see what your business is worth, and a ready to publish book. And again, if you don't feel that what we have is worth every penny of what you're paying, we give you 100% of your money back. 30 days, 100% of your money back, because in 30 days, you've worked with our advisors. Guys, our advisors will call you 5 times in the first 5 days. They will call you regularly after that. These are not people that are customer support to answer calls. You can message them from your system. You can email or call. They'll also preemptively reach out to you and coach you. That's why it's not customer service. It's a coaching program. They'll coach you through. If you've talked to our advisors in the first 30 days 10 times, and you've logged into the system and you don't know by then if it's not for you, then more than likely you're probably going to stick with it. If you know it's not for you, we give you 100% of your money back, nothing to lose. Okay, and you can see we've never had a BBB complaint. We've never had any negative, anything client ever say anything negative about us online, because we do what we say we're going to do. And if you're not happy, we give you 100% of your money back. So Christine, as we kind of wrap up here, and look at that, Christine, you see the time? What time is it right now?
6:30.
That's good, right?
Yes.
I mean, that's on the nose to the minute, right at 6:30. We were able to get it wrapped up. And that's hard to do, because I don't know how this is going to work with somebody else. What are your parting thoughts here as we get ready to get into a Q&A? And for everybody that's hung around here, you will get a playback of this, just so you know. That being said, Christine, what are your parting thoughts here as we get ready to jump into Q&A?
Well, I mean, I guess the only thing I can say is this program is actually very much worth it. It is. I've been through the mill. I've been through, well, literally hell trying to build business credit. So what you spend on this and the extras and the bonuses that you get, it is well worth it in the long run. Because believe me, if you go through DNB, their concierge service to do exactly what Ty's company does is $10,000. So it is very worth it. Point blank.
I appreciate that. I'm going to hang around and answer questions. Christine, let me know when you're bouncing out, or you could be here and I'll bounce some questions off you as well.
I think my kids are pretty much, they're entertained. So we're still good.
We're still good. All right, perfect. So Hank asked, is Seton reporting? No, Seton is no longer reporting, but this is the type of questions, and it's a good point that you bring up. Guys, we have a data research team, and all our data research team does is verify these accounts on an ongoing basis. We research accounts that possibly can report, and then we make sure that all the information is up to date with every account. Why does that matter? Somebody's asking about Seton. To a lot of you, that might not mean anything. Let me tell you the problem. Seton has been a vendor for a long time. Then they stopped reporting. We still have people to this day that are going out and buying stuff from Seton expecting to get it reported. They're waiting 90 days. It's not reporting, only to find out Seton no longer reports. Gimplers is no different. Gimplers stopped reporting for months. Now they're back reporting. We know the day that it happens. And the problem is, if you don't know that, it has you applying for accounts like Seton that don't report. So no, Seton does not report anymore. A lot of people are asking about the recorded. We talked about that. You attended already to this point, the 90 minutes. You will get the actual playback. Ty, have 80 paydocks with 3 Experian, 1 cash credit. That's great. Congratulations. It been like that for a few months. I think that's referring to Seton. No, Seton does not report. It's been that way for a while. We tell our clients that. I think we put a notice out on YouTube and on our group. But yeah, this information changes all the time, guys. Who these sources report to and and how often that changes, it changes all the time, which is why us having a data team that gets you access to only the most accurate information is how you expedite this. And somebody's asking, is your trucking company LLC or incorporated, Christine?
It's actually an LLC. We're thinking about changing it over to an S corp or incorporating, but we have since decided to just go ahead and leave it in LLC. It's
Okay.
just much easier.
Perfect. Somebody's asking about which sources you can get without a PG. Every single one I showed you, even PNC, you can get without a personal guarantee. Depends on what you want. Christine, for example, decided to provide a personal guarantee to get higher approvals, and that's absolutely an option as well. When applying for cash credit and asked to provide SSN, did you enter SSN or leave it blank? Somebody is asking.
I left it blank. If
Okay.
if they pull it and they ask you for a personal guarantee, and if you feel like you can do it, or you have a credit or a business partner that is willing to help you, and you need the personal guarantee, then and you want to do that route, go for it. If not, and your credit is good enough and you don't need it, then you don't need to provide it.
Perfect. And then somebody's saying here, hey, all of these approvals are credit cards. You're right. This is business credit. This is building credit for your business, not getting loans. Business credit will make you more lendable. Having an established business credit report will help you get approved for financing. It helps you get better rates and terms. And you saw that it also determines how much you'll get approved for, but you're not going to get loans just because you have business credit. And here's why. Lenders are looking at your full business credit report. Your business credit reports, as they get established, will say your revenue. They will say your profits. They will say the number of employees you have. There's more information that lenders are looking at, including financial scores, which take into account your financial health of your business. So business credit will help you get financing, but that factor nor any other factor alone will help you qualify for loans. They do look at other things. So just so you know. Christine, do you ever ask for credit line increases from your existing creditors? That's a good question.
Yes, actually, I do. I ask for them quite frequently, honestly. About every 3 months is what I do. Usually it's because of the fleet cards, they really are kind of stingy about it, handing out any kind of increases. But also, too, any of the other kind of vendor credit that we have, they're pretty good about handing out increases because I just got an Amazon, and when I started it was 5,000. I'm already up to 8,000 for upscale stables, and I've only had Amazon I think 2, maybe not even 3 months,
Now,
and I've
same
only charged 800 on it.
and the same person's asking Visa Mastercards that you have. Have you chosen to get any of the Visa Mastercards without the PG?
Actually, we don't have very many cash credit cards as of yet, and we've gone through PNC. BJ's is the only other one that we have that was an OPG. So we're actually still in that process of trying to get cash credit cards because we really didn't need it at the time. So we didn't want to get something we really didn't need.
Yeah, and
So
there's a couple good points there, guys. These sources come and go with no personal guarantee credit. Right now, PNC's hot, Amex is hot, Chase Inc. is hot. At one point, Key Bank was hot, BJ's was hot. They kind of come and go. So BJ's is one of those, the same as Sam's Club. You just saw somebody get that has a MasterCard. Those are ones you can use anywhere without the personal guarantee, without the personal credit check. But the important part that Christine brings up is the reason she successfully built so much business credit is she's only getting credit she's actually going to use. Then she's using the credit, paying it back. The credit reports reflect how much she's recently used, and that's what keeps getting her these higher and higher approvals. Is every account that reports on her credit report, she's really using at a high level, and that's helping her get approved, which is why I've talked about throughout that you only want to get credit with sources that you're actually really going to use. Are the store accounts revolving, or do they have to be paid in full? Those are almost all your retail store credit is revolving, right?
Not always. Sears, we kind of got a shock with that one. That one is actually a net 22. We didn't know that. They told us it was revolving, so we're thinking, okay, we can carry a balance. Nope, it was all due. So when
Okay.
you get the store card, always ask the person on the other end, verify this information, because sometimes they don't tell you. And then you go charging $1,500, $2,000, and it could be due in 22 days, 25 or 30.
What
So
percentage do you think of your accounts are revolving versus net?
I would say it's a good 50-50.
Okay,
It
so
really is.
some of them are net, some of them are revolving. And again, other sources like Amazon let you choose. You could even choose between
Yeah.
net and revolving accounts. All the ones I show you, you can get with a revolving. So what's the difference? It's a great question. So let's dive into it. It comes down to how many trade lines you have. You can get a Staples account that's net 55, or you can get a Staples account that's revolving. You can get both. It depends on how many accounts you actually have reporting to get either one or the other. And that's why I think I saw an example of that here, where you can see in round two, I think we have Amazon, and you can see that we have Amazon. I'll use as an example, Amazon here. And we have this as a net 55 or possibly revolving. And then you can also see that we have Amazon in step 3, which is where somebody's moving up to revolving. So you could get it in this step, but they'll probably give you net 55, or you could wait, hold out, and then you could come in and you could be able to get it revolving. You could see in the last step we said net 55 or revolving. Here we're saying revolving or net 55, which means when you have this many trades, you're able to get it typically with revolving, but sometimes you can get it with net 55 if you have less than 10 trades. So that's what it really comes down to. And again, you can apply and choose which one you get as well, and we break that down. But what it really comes down to with revolving credit is how many trade lines you have. If you don't have enough trades to get a revolving Staples, you're going to get a net 55 Staples, for example. If you do have enough trades to get a revolving Staples, then you don't need to get the net 55. These underwriting descriptions map all that out and teach you so you know what it takes to get the net 55 or the net 30 versus the revolving. Does your business have to have a toll free? It doesn't have to, but it's one of those things where if you have it, it will make it easier for you. Most businesses that do business nationwide have that, so it makes sense to have it. What banks or credit unions will finance without a PG? A lot of them, but it takes ridiculous amounts of credit established to get there. Again, the purpose of a personal guarantee is when your business can stand on its own. So if you're trying to get a $50,000 loan with no PG, how many $50,000 business credit cards are you using without the personal guarantee? That's the kind of stuff they're going to look at. So you have to have a lot of trade lines, 20, 30 plus trades to start getting loans without a personal guarantee or credit check. But again, what I tell people is, why do you need a loan? That's the question. What you have to do is figure out what you need the money for, how much money you need, and you'll find that revolving business credit will cover 85% of what you need the money for. Then you only need a much smaller loan, which is much easier to get. So for example, if you're starting a business and you say you need 50 grand, well, maybe 10 of that's furniture. Maybe 10 of that is office supplies. Maybe 10 of that is computers. Well, you don't need a loan for any of that. You could use business credit for all that. So again, this is very good to get 20, 30, 40, 50, as you've even heard Christine, $300,000 limit revolving accounts. But when you start to get to loans, they're usually going to look at other factors as well as just business credit. Do we need 5 different companies to report a payment experience, or do we just need to have 5 payment experiences? You need to have at least 5 payment experiences. So if one account reports to multiple bureaus, that can help expedite your time building business credit. And that's why it's so important that we list where they report, because this account that reports to 2 reporting agencies is worth more value value to you than one that just reports to one. For the no PG business credit cards, do we wait on them to send us a pre-approved letter, or do we just go to their websites? You should just go and apply. Business credit's about knowing the sources you want to get approved for. In this example, let's say Amazon, and then you going to them when you know you have enough trade lines, knowing you're in the right tier, knowing the colors lit up to be able to get approved to go in and apply. But as Christine will tell you, you will start getting a lot of pre-approval letters as you start building your business credit. Is that what you've experienced, Christine?
Yeah, it is. I haven't got the American Express or anything like that. I haven't been that fortunate yet. But also, too, keep in mind that they'll also monitor what kind of income you make. They have ways of finding out what your income is. I've got On Deck. I've got Funding Circle, Fundbox. A lot of these companies are sending me pre-approved letters, and I'm like, I don't need the cash right now. As much as I would love to have it, I don't need it at this point in time. You know, you will start to get all this mail, and you're like, really? I don't need this at this moment. Or if you do, you know, great, you're pre-approved, you're pre-screened, you know what you can get approved for, and it makes it so much easier.
Yeah. And somebody said, I have a corp. I currently have Quill, Granger, Office Depot, kind of stuck on where to go. There's a lot of different places to go. Like I said, Staples, these type of things will give you net 30 accounts at the point that you're at. And we also talked about a couple other services with Uline and Gimplers, which could help you as well. We've got a bunch of things going on here. Take the D. Okay. Okay. Would you ever do a webinar where you walk through an application, like to show us how to answer or bypass the OPG part? I don't need to. It's really simple. If you don't want to provide a personal guarantee, don't provide your social. That's the key to it. You have to leave that field blank. Sometimes that means you have to get a paper application versus actually fill it out online. Just so you know that. Have you mentioned DB, Experian, Equifax, Business Credit? How about PayNet? Look, there's a lot of reporting agencies. You know, in the consumer and commercial world, there are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of reporting agencies. The reason in consumer credit we talk about TransUnion, Equifax, Experian. The reason in the business world we talk about Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian, and now starting to talk about Credit Safe is those are the ones the lenders look at, guys. Those are the ones credit issuers look at. PayNet's just not popular. So that amongst many other credit bureaus that most lenders and credit issuers look at, we don't talk about them a lot because there's just not a lot of people pulling them. What percentage of your clients what percentage are your clients paying their sales reps? That varies wildly. Our partners pay their sales reps all different kind of percentages, but typically 10 to 20%, sometimes higher, depending on if the sales rep generates the lead or the partner does. How long that process can take? Building business credit never stops, just like consumer credit, but it takes you about 6 months to get to Visa, MasterCard, auto vehicle financing. Is there a discount for the Ultimate as well? Yes, we will give you the same discount on our Ultimate package. You just have to give us a call or send us an email. And guys, I don't expect you just to enroll because you saw this webinar. Give us a call, send us an email. We've got team in the office that answers, because we have a lot of questions at these webinars, that can talk to you about special payments that they can do for you. And they can also talk to you about a discount on our Ultimate package, which is our top partner program. I don't promote that here because I don't want to provide up too much information for people that aren't interested in being partners. But yes, we will honor the same discount on Ultimate and with the same business. Help with business plans. Our advisors will help you with that. Yes, if you need help setting that up. And it shouldn't say offer is closed. If you go to creditsuite.com/webinar, you should be able to access that link. As a matter of fact, I'm on that link right here, creditsuite.com/webinar. You can see here that we are going to offer this to you through Friday. The end of the day, Friday at 11:59 p.m. This will actually go, and you can see again the core package is to build business credit financing. The VIP is to offer it. What's this commission split with the partner program? If you're getting financing for a customer, then we're paying you basically 50% of the actual amount. That could be hundreds, it could be thousands. We've even seen $10,000 commissions paid out. And our average partner, by the way, is making about $2,000 to $3,000 per sale. So they're selling the finance suite. You're paying $700 wholesale. You're retailing it for $2,500 to $3,500, and then again, you're making about $2,000 to $3,000 in profit per front end sale as a partner, and on the back end, it could be hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the loan amount, loan type. I just recently retired from the U.S. Army. Thank you very, very much, Perry, for your service after 29.5 years. That's awesome. Just started my home-based business. Do you have any military discount? Thank you, Perry. Like I said, Perry, we don't usually discount our packages at all. And the most that we do discount, you'll see here. But if you give us a call and let us know that you're military, we will do something else. I'll do something special for you as well. I'm a veteran as well, and we have a really I have a special place in my heart for veterans, especially people that have dedicated their life to it as you have. Quote requires 90 days of prepayment before a trade line is set up. Not always. This is one of the myths that is perpetuated by people that don't know exactly the details. You can get around Quill's 90-day requirement if you meet certain criteria, as in being set up or having some initial credit reporting. Is there another way to speed up the process? You can start getting business credit right away. And then the only thing that happens after that is you have to wait for that credit to report. It usually takes 30 to 60 days. The way to speed up the process is for you to apply for more credit that you need in each tier or each level. And then that way you'll be able to depend on that credit reporting faster than 60 days. And that can speed up the process and take months off of it. And our advising team can help you with that. We get more than I originally thought. Yeah, I mean, guys, look, we continue to add to what we have. Just in the last year or the last 7-8 months, we've added the business valuation, which literally saves you thousands of bucks. We've also offered the credit monitoring, which saves you $2,200 a year. And that's why it's a no-brainer. I mean, look, if you're going to build business credit, what are you doing? I mean, you're going to spend $210 a month to monitor your business credit, or $24 with us a month. The first year, you're going to spend an extra $2,200 a year to monitor business credit, when you can get started with this for only $2,500. You're saving in credit monitoring alone, basically what you're getting, not to mention all the extras that we're throwing in there. Can you use retail cards anywhere? Retail cards can only be used in the retail store. That's where Visa, MasterCard is the credit you can get anywhere. How do you change from a sole prop to an LLC? Our advising team can help you with that, or you can also do it through your accountant or secretary of state. How long does it take to get DMB once you apply? Christine, what was your experience? It usually takes less than 30 days, but it's different for everybody.
Well, with feral transportation, I don't know how long it took, to be honest with you, because like I said, LegalZoom did that, and we found out we had one when I went to apply for it. So I was like, oh, surprise. But with my upscale stables, it took maybe 2 weeks, and I never even got the letter notifying me of what it was. It was just I logged in one day and here's your Dun and Bradstreet number. I'm like, oh, okay. So 2 weeks later, I had it. I've seen it take up to 30 days. I've seen it take up to 45 days. But the one thing, and I just noticed this tonight, somebody was asking online how when they applied, Dun and Bradstreet wanted them to pay for it to get it within 24, 48 hours. Don't do it. It's just a ploy. They want you to build credit through them. And 9 times out of 10, everybody you supply, they will turn down. Almost always, they will turn down.
Somebody's asking, does budget report? No, they don't, but they will issue you business credit. Somebody says, is it true that Quill and Granger won't start reporting until you spend $300? Though that's not accurate. There is a way around that, although I do see that floating around everywhere. Where does the published book look like? You can go to Amazon.com and you could search my name, Ty Crandall, or you could just look at business credit or perfect credit, and you'll see the book. You're getting my actual book, Perfect Credit, where you actually have the ability to basically add your own bio and make that your book, so you become a published author, which is pretty cool. My personal credit run by C Capital 780 went to 652. I'm at 50 limit to credit use. I use personal for my business. Now, how can you help me? Well, this is the problem that a lot of people have. You used your personal credit to fund your business. Now your personal credit scores are much lower than they should be as a result. So the way to fix this is we've got to build business credit for you so you can transfer those credit balances from your consumer credit to your business credit. Utilization's 30% of your score, which is why your scores are down. Once we shift those balances to your business credit counts, which is the way it's supposed to be done, then that's what will bring up the credit score. I'm applying for certification with the city, state, federal, and must have a location for them to visit. I can't have a virtual address. Well, look, that's different. If you're going to the city, the state, the federal, and you need a physical address, then you may need to get a physical address. That doesn't necessarily have to do with business credit building, but that's kind of requirements for whatever certifications you're actually looking at. Christine set up another company. Did she have to purchase another credit builder program? No, she didn't. Christine does what a lot of our clients do. She works with our advisors. She uses our system to build business credit. Then she has so much success. She now knows the steps. She knows the pitfalls. She starts instantly building it for another business. Although she can't enter another business's information in the finance suite, she kind of doesn't need the finance suite or advisors at that point anymore. But still, she'll still peek in and ask them questions if she runs into obstacles along the way. How to get a van financed under my business if currently the van is under my personal credit? You can't. You can't shift it from personal credit to business credit. You can't do that with auto financing or credit cards. You have to do it right from the beginning. You have to go get financing right from the beginning. Ally Financial. Ally might refinance, but I doubt that they will. So you're going to have to use it for new financing, not to refinance that.
Let me
Go
let me
ahead.
interject here. I have dealt with that with Ally. We actually were trying to purchase, and this is the one that literally just broke down on us. Ally would not do that because if something like what just happened to it happened, then you're going to drop the car or vehicle or whatever is what they're looking at, because they've had that done several times. So if you are going to finance through Ally, they want you to go through a regular dealership. They won't go from a person. They won't go from a company. They want to go from a dealership, because then that way that dealership is held accountable for some of the repairs if something happens. So in that respect, yes, I can understand where they're coming from on that. But to finance a vehicle from your personal into the business, it can be done, but it's very, 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 very impossible to do. So unfortunately, you really can't do too much about it. It's
Yeah.
just one of those things that you're just going to have to move forward with it.
And it's the same thing. John says, I have a secure credit card. How long before the secured part removes? It never removes. You have to get an unsecured credit card. And it's the same thing with vehicle financing, credit cards you got in your personal name. You can't switch these once you've done it the wrong way. You just have to start doing it the right way. What if you want to build business credit for an industry that has red flags such as real estate? You could still do it. It's just like Christine said about using a home address. There's some sources that can create an issue with lenders, credit issuers, lenders mostly. It won't stop you from building business credit, but there are some sources that it will red flag or make it harder to be able to get that. And then we actually talked that. How would I sell business credit? We've already kind of talked about that. With our partner program, basically what we're doing is teaching you how to sell business credit. You can see here, if we go into well, that's not what I wanted. Where did I actually go? To our partner resources, and you can see that these are, for example, some of our actual partner resources. So we're giving you everything. Here's the resource library. I'm like, wow, I can't even navigate my own system here, Christine. I'll tell you. Okay, so here's where you get basically everything you need: marketing flyers, emails, ebooks, articles, and you can see that all this is professionally done content. So we're giving you everything you basically need to offer business credit financing. Let me give you an example. Here's one of the free guides that you actually get access to. And all of our stuff is done this professional. It's professionally done. So it would cost you a ton of money to have these kind of guides, these kind of resources actually done for you. So you can see there's a guide. Let me actually pull up an email content to show you the quality of what you're getting here. So for example, you're coming in, we're giving you everything you need to actually build business credit, get financing, and run your own business. You can set up sales team, you can manage sales team. We're giving you email. So here's building business credit email 1, what you should know about business credit but probably don't, unsecured business financing. You can see the emails here. And this document is, I don't know how many pages, 69 pages long. So this is one of the documents you're getting. You can see all the content. So we're giving you everything you need resource-wise to offer business credit financing as a service, right? The marketing. We're giving you emails, ebooks, flyers, PowerPoints, press releases, social media. If you go to universityofbusinesscredit.com, that's that website we give you. If you're part of our ultimate program, which you could talk to our sales team about, we set up this for you. And we even give you access to our sales funnels, all of our campaigns, and we clone them from our system to yours. They're even yours. So you're getting your own website set up. So we basically create, and that's again with our ultimate program, but even with our VIP program, you're getting your own website. You're getting everything that you see here, as well as everything in the back office: webinars, Spanish resources, sales rep resources, website templates, everything you need. So we basically, you get your own finance suite. Your branding is here. Okay, you're getting all the resources you need to market it. We're then giving you a partner training program, which is a 7-step training program to offer business credit financing. We teach you the welcome introduction, how business credit works, how financing works, how to sell, close, present. We talk about what the team does, how you set up all your resources. We talk to you about advertising, marketing that you can do. You can even come in here and basically download things. So here's a downloadable guide that gives you a link to every webinar we've done. So if you want to sell on social media, we give you webinars of how to sell on social media. If you want to sell in networking events, we give you training on that. So we're giving you all the training, everything you need to successfully sell business credit financing. You have a separate customer service team that helps you through the whole aspect of selling it. For every finance suite you sell, it won't have all these extras here. It won't have add clients. It won't have client dashboard, sales rep. That's for you as a partner. Your system will have home. Your customer system will have home. We'll have a marketplace. We'll have their own business profile, their own business valuation, their own finance section, and it won't have the other partner section. So you're selling this, your logo, your branding, white label is your solution. You decide the sales price. We have clients that sell it for as much as $5,000. We have others that sell it for as low as $2,500. You pay us $700 per client you add. You come in here, you sell a finance suite, and you can come in and go to add business credit, add finance business credit builder. You add it in. It's $700 per credit. You can also buy what's called bulk enrollments. So you can get your enrollments as low as $500 a piece if you're buying them in bulk, or you can get it for $700 per suite if you're buying it as you go. You would basically buy a credit right here, set up your customer. Our team will typically call them within the first hour. And then we call them 5 times the first day. We constantly service them after that. You're charging the client $2,500 to $5,000. You're paying us $700. If you're part of our executive membership, which is only $99 a month, you also can enter customers in for financing only. You get paid 50% of all financing customers get. You get a bunch of extra resources, training, access, etc. And that's basically how it works. So you could even bring customers in for funding without selling them anything, and we split the funding commissions for you. Or maybe you want to sell the business credit builder, and then what we just talked about, the finance suite. And then if you're doing that, you're paying $700, or you can buy them in bulk, and then you're keeping all the profits. That's basically how our white label program works. And again, our team's available. You can talk to us, give us a call. We'll talk to you a little bit more about that as well. How to get, okay, we already talked about that. A trucking company. Oh, she has a trucking company. Melissa has a trucking company. She says, I have a trucking company, but have it as a partnership. And I'm guessing here it will be better to have it as an LLC. The problem with a partnership is you're personally liable for what happens in your business. So if you want to not be liable, you have to get an entity that means that you're not typically liable. Okay. And why is an LLC easier? And that's what it's about, guys, is that corporation and LLC just limit your liability. If you go with a sole proprietor or partnership, you are the business. So if the business ever gets sued, you're liable, which is why Christine and so many people don't do it. I'm using my home address. You can do that. Just keep in mind that, as Christine said, it will show up on your credit report. A picture of it oftentimes will, and other sources like Walmart will not actually approve you. And we talked about that. I have a lot of the same questions, people asking the same questions. I'm getting to your questions, guys. Just to let you know, I'm answering questions that were left at 6:34. And it's 7. So if you have more questions, let's get them typed in, because we're probably going to go to about 7:30, an hour for questions, and then wrap up. And I'm already about 25 minutes behind from when these questions were asked. Does the overall health of the consumer credit market collapse due to the Equifax hack and subprime auto lending market bubble popping? Will business credit slow down or be harder to get? It's impossible to predict. But business is not usually affected by what's going on in the consumer world, because what I'm showing you is kind of like a best kept secret. A lot of small businesses don't know this. It's usually a secret only bigger businesses know about. So we found that changes in the economy have not directly impacted the ability to get business credit. I have a sole prop for the last 15 years with an EIN. From the webinar, it should sound like I should move to an LLC. No, you will not lose your 15 years if you move that. Just, how long does it take to get D&B number? We already answered a lot of these questions. Like Mary, you're asking the same question over and over. We've already asked that. Why LLC is easier? It's not that it's easier. It's that it separates your liability, which is why you want to choose that versus the others. How do you get to the next screen without entering personal information? If you don't, and nor should you need to. This has everything you need to know right here. It gives you the monthly investments, and it actually gives you the one-time investments as well. So the only other thing beyond this is the order page. That's it. If you click buy it now, you're going to go to a place that's going to ask for your email. And the next page, you're basically going to get the same pricing options in an order now. So all it's asking you for is your email. And in all fairness, you already entered your email to get into the webinar. So there's nothing you're going to see behind the buy it now button besides you enter your email on the next page. And then when you enter your email on the next page, actually, in some cases, it don't even have to do that. See that? Right there on that one, you don't have to. And in the cases you do, it just takes you to a pre-page where you enter your email and then are able to move on, just so you know. Okay, which is easier? Mary has asked like the same question like 100 times. I've joined Credit Suite, but need to change my email address. How do I change it? Just email us, email our support team, or just email info@creditsuite.com. That should help you. How much do you estimate I'll be paying in monthly services to make me legitimate? I found that it's not monthly services. You spend about $500 to set up the business in its entirety. It depends on the state you're in. California, it's $700 just to set up the entity. So that's a little bit more expensive out there. But monthly, you don't really need anything. All you need is website hosting, which is like 50, 60 bucks a year typically. And the website domain's like $7 a year. And then your phone service is about 15 to 30 bucks a month. If you want to get a virtual address, it could be 100 to 200 a month. That's the biggest expense. So it's usually less than $100 a month entirely, unless you get a virtual address. That's your choice, and then that could definitely be more money if you choose to do it that way. I got 14-year-old active LLC, and I didn't know I could have business credit. Does it help? I got so many years. Yes, it does. There are some credit issuers like Home Depot that will want you to have longer time in business, but most of them will lend you money based on the amount of trade lines that you have. If you don't use your credit cards over a period of time, do the creditors drop your accounts or reduce your credit limits? They don't necessarily do that, but credit reports do show the recent amount of credit limit you use, so you definitely want to use them. Otherwise, what will show is it will show nothing where it says recent amount, that you recent high limit, and then credit issuers and lenders will know that you have not used those accounts.
Well, let me interject here.
Yeah.
Let me interject here, because I'm looking at we have somebody who wants to partner with my company with some trucks, and their credit is good, but they have everything paid off. And while for me that makes me say, okay, this person is responsible, but if I was a credit lender, I'm looking at it like, okay, they paid everything off, but now they have no revolving credit. In another 6 months to a year, it's going to fall off. So they're right back at square one. They're going to have to reestablish credit. So using it once every 2 or 3 months is a good thing, because on D&B, if you don't use it after 2 years, it's going to fall off. They'll just take it off. So, it's always a good thing. If you pay it off, fine, great, but use it again and use it every once in a while. Keep it revolving, keep it active, keep it moving. Otherwise, your scores will drop. And if you have a negative, even if it's a minor thing, it's going to tank your scores. So you have to keep in mind that if you don't use it, or at least use it occasionally, you're going to go backwards in what you just did.
Right. Another question, great advice, and I appreciate that. When I leave my social security number off the application, they will not process it? No, unless you give them permission. Anybody that processes your personal credit has to have your permission per the Fair Credit Reporting Act, or they won't be able to actually be able to do so, just so you know. And so hopefully that answers that question. For nonprofit, go ahead.
Okay. I was going to say, I also had an incident with Lowe's here recently. I put in my EIN number. And, of course, the EIN is tied to my social for the business. They went ahead and they pulled my personal without my permission. And they denied everything. And I asked them why. And they said, well, I don't have enough established business credit. Well, when I went back to them, they went to their credit department. They're like, we didn't pull it. And I'm like, yes, you did. I have a credit pull from you guys. So when you go there, if you do it online, or if you go to the front end, make sure you leave that social security number blank. And without even realizing it, I had put it in there. So when you're putting that in there and you tell them not to pull, if you put that social security number in there, they're automatically going to type it in, giving them permission to pull your credit. So always double check. And if you don't want to personally guarantee, make sure you leave that blank.
Yeah, that's great.
100%.
Great advice. For a nonprofit, do you think it looks negative to the board having to get so many trade lines within the different tiers to build business credit? I can't speak to that. I can tell you that I've never seen a business, profit or nonprofit, complain that the company has access to a bunch of credit. Anybody that deals with business valuations or selling of businesses will tell you that a business that has $100,000 plus worth of revolving credit is worth more than one that doesn't have access to that. Hey, Mark, what's up, man? I wanted to know if the fleet accounts are net revolving. A lot of the fleet accounts are revolving. Christine, a lot of the fleet accounts you have are revolving, correct?
Actually, it's probably a good 50-50. Some of my fleet accounts are revolving. I know my Shell, Sunoco, Exxon are all revolving. I can carry a balance on them. My RTS is a net 7. I've got BP, which is a net 14. So it really just depends on which one I'm using.
Okay. And then
I mean,
somebody's saying,
so
I
it
have an
just,
Amex. I'm sorry, Christine, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. I was just gonna say it just depends on which one I'm using at the
Okay.
time.
And then somebody's asking, I have an Amex with no present limit and a loan. How would I know if they're reporting? You'd have to pull your business credit reports. If you're our client, it's easy. It's part of your system. If not, you'll have to go to Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, and Experian Direct to be able to actually figure that out. Can you explain the secure business loans within 72 hours? It says on the website, the loans within 72 hours, those are what's called revenue lending, also called merchant cash advances. They're available through companies like On Deck. And what they're basically doing is looking at your revenue to determine approval. We actually have sources that now are even faster than 72 hours because they don't need bank statements. They plug in through your actual bank account, and they're just based on revenue. If you manage your bank account responsibly, you can get approved. We've got sources that even if you've been in business 3 to 6 months and you have 5,000 in revenue or more, you can get approved. It's based on responsible bank account management. That's how it works. And you can typically get 10 to 12% of whatever your deposits are. PayPal and Square will typically give you up to 30%, just so you know that. Trade line is the reporting of an account to the business credit reporting agencies. That's what an actual trade line is. Okay, what company helps finance your program? We use a company called Fundbox Pay, but you need to get in touch with our team about that because we're in a beta with them. We are their biggest supplier of loan customers, their biggest affiliate, and so they let us in on this program. So they're the best one out there, but I don't even know if you can find their service directly online because it's just a beta. It's just a test program at this point. Can I become a partner and start my business from there using the program? You sure can. As you saw, what's nice about the system is that you can come in and right from step one, we're helping you set up the business credibly. So we're helping you do it the right way, right from step one, which is pretty cool to get. And Mary, I do not know what is going on. I have the exact same question from Mary, Christine. It has to be like 50 times. And I'm not sure if that's like a fluke in the system or if not. Is there a webinar replay? Yes, you will get it sent to you tomorrow because you attended until the end. So yes. Is a payment due right away or in 30 days for your suite? For us, the minute you get started, we process a payment. But again, if you have good revenue and you have good bank account management, we might be able to get you approved to Fundbox Pay where they give you 60 days not to pay. But again, in order for that to even happen or for that to work, you would have to have really good bank account management for that to actually work, just so you know that. Okay, using Credit Suite update, thanks. I'm trying to skip past all the 100 questions from Mary about how to get a van finance, but we already talked about that. I got my DUNS number in like 10 or 15 days. It takes about 2 weeks on average, which is very common. Can you get auto financing for any vehicle? I mean, there's no limit on the type of vehicle. Christine, do you know anything about the limit of kind of vehicle you can have?
No, as long as you can verify it's going to be used for business, they don't care. I mean, you can go get a Prius. It's a company car.
Yeah. Somebody says, how can how can you get a legitimate search? How can a legitimate search be done on Credit Suite? Just Google us. That's my best advice is just Google us. But if you go to our website, we've got a bunch of information too. You can actually research on us. So if you go to creditsuite.com, we've got a credibility tab, and our credibility tab will give you a lot of good stuff that you're probably going to want to see, stuff that I'd want to see. So you can first start by seeing actual approvals. I showed you some today. Here's about 100 150, 120, 30, 40, 50 approvals. And all these approvals will tell you whether there's a personal guarantee or not. In a lot of cases, they'll tell you flat out if there's a personal guarantee or not. So you can scroll down and just see approval after approval after approval. To me, that's proof. If I'm doing research on a company, I want to see the actual results. So to me, results is probably one of the best things that I'm looking at. You can also click here and go to look at our Trustpilot reviews. Trustpilot shows all reviews, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5 stars. You can see what we're rated here, and you see these aren't just stars. You can actually see extensive comments from everybody to see their actual experience and see a little bit more. And these go on and on and on, page after page. And you can see that these aren't seasoned, or these aren't old ones either. You can see that this was published 13 hours ago, for example. So you can see these are updated quite a bit. You can see that we've never had a complaint with a Better Business Bureau ever in the lifetime of our business. We are not accredited because I do not believe in paying the Better Business Bureau to get accredited and to get an A+. I think that people that buy their rating from the BBB, I think it's a sham. So I believe in earning it, and you can see that we've never had a complaint with the BBB. You can also come here to Sotellus reviews, and I don't know how many reviews here we have here, but you can also see that we have all kinds of actual reviews here too. And you can see a lot of those that are available. And then you can also come in and see our client testimonials. We do not do written short testimonials. Every testimonial we have, you can click on, and you will see that it is an actual full video testimonial. So you can see and listen to the actual person on video as well as see what they say. And then you can also come in and see actual case studies, and you can see our in the press information. But guys, you can just Google us. If you Google Credit Suite, if you Google my name, you'll find a bunch of information. We only had one guy leave a complaint on Ripoff Report, and if you look at his complaint, you'll see what his complaint was. He basically had a problem with another company that wasn't us, and he called us and demanded that we give him free services in exchange for his testimonial because he had problems with another company, not us, or threatened to ruin our reputation. And we don't believe in paying for testimonials, so we did not oblige. He was not happy about that, but you can see we've had a bunch of actual clients respond to his post. But you can see we've never had anything else. So the best answer to your question outside of our credibility page is just Google. Is budget credit only for trucks and vans? It's for rentals in general, whatever budget's renting, which is usually, I think, trucks and vans. What about providing financial information to these companies as a new business? Do we place projected revenue on applications? If they ask for it, in a lot of cases, they're not going to ask for it. If they ask you for what your revenue is, you tell them. If they ask you for what your projected revenue is, you should tell them that as well. Hey, Ty, this may be an offline question. I'm interested in becoming a VIP or Ultimate office. I'm already a commercial finance broker. My concern is being able to direct my clients to my own finance options versus your finance options. I may want to use your finance options too. However, I figure I can try for 30 days. You have a choice with that. So with us as a partner, you can choose when you set up a customer whether you want them to be offered financing or not. So that's what's cool. We deal with a lot of people in financial services that offer business credit financing through us. And basically the way you do it is when you set up a new client in the finance suite, you are asked whether or not you want them to be accessed finance or not. Include finance blueprint. If you said no, we would not show them the Finance My Business section, nor would we talk to them about financing. So you can choose whether or not you do or don't want them to be offered financing for people just in your situation, just so you know that. I'm also concerned executive subscription plus additional marketing automation. If I do Ultimate, if I pay for the Ultimate 100% up front, can I get these waived? No way. And let me tell you why. First of all, the 99 marketing automation is not us, it's Active Campaign. So what you're getting with marketing automation with our Ultimate program is you're getting Active Campaign. And if you are getting Active Campaign, that's not us. We don't collect any money in profit from that. 100% of what you pay pays for Active Campaign. So with that being said, you could get Ultimate without having all of our automation set up. But if you're going to use Active Campaign, you have to pay Active Campaign for this. That's not even us. For the executive, as you can see, is pretty ridiculous. With the executive program, what you're getting is you're getting access to set up and manage sales reps. You're getting hundreds and hundreds of additional resources. Every additional webinar that I do, and I do webinars every week, you're getting all those PowerPoints. You're getting getting videos from every single one of those for hundreds of additional resources, and we're splitting the funding fee for you for 50%. So if that's not for you, it's probably not for you. The ultimate or the executive might not be for you. But with executive, what we found is that if you close even one funding deal on average, it pays for a year and a half of executive, Dan. So hopefully that helps. I've yet to see anybody with any of our products not think that the value's there. But if you have any other questions, whoever it was you spoke to in our office, we can talk to you more about that. Will the virtual office address be a problem if my end game goal is to get loans from a bank lender? No, it will not. Can I set up a parent corporation to have an LLC division if I plan to? Yes, you can. More than one business. When applying for cash credit and asked to provide social, did you enter social? No, as she mentioned, she did not. You got to leave the social security number blank, or they oftentimes will pull your personal credit even when you ask them not to. So is there nothing I can do about refinancing the van? No, you not this way. I mean, first of all, to even get to a van financing, you've got to have 14 trade lines plus to even be able to qualify for auto vehicle financing. And right now, there's no way to refinance out of a personal vehicle loan into a business loan. You'd have to sell that van, and then the next vehicle you get, you'd have to get your business name. It's the only other way to do that. Even if to get a credit line for my business and pay off the van, you can do that. I mean, you're asking about auto vehicle financing. So you can't refinance a personal van into a business name. That just cannot be done because a lot of reasons, including the fact that it's a personal financing that you're putting into business, that won't work. But if you get business credit, then use that to pay off the van. You could do that. That's a possibility. You can get any kind of financing to pay off the van and get out of that loan if that's something that may work for you or want to do. And when you type in
Well,
those questions, Mary, just type them in once, because every time you type in that question, I'm seeing it. I just haven't got to it yet. So for example, I see all those listings that you listed. So just list it once. We'll get to it. Christine, what did you have on that?
now, I did want to know, is Mary a transportation company? Because she keeps mentioning van. So is she a transportation? Because if she is, there is a very slim, and I do mean slim, possibility she can get it refunded under national funding, but they will make her jump through hoops. She'll have to put more money down, and 99% of the time, she will have to personally guarantee that vehicle again under her
Yeah.
personal.
So it's always
So,
worth looking into, Mary. And as Christine just mentioned, national funding may be worth looking into.
right, I mean, because we are in the process of trying to do that with the big rig we have. Although with the massive repair, it just had to have the odds of getting it financed probably are not going to be very good. So, I mean, you have to look at everything. Is it going to be worth funding it? I mean, you could still deduct it on your taxes. If it's 100% use, you keep track of your mileage, all that other stuff, you can still deduct it for your business expenses. It's under your personal lesson learned. So there's always a way to deduct the expense if that's what you're trying to do. The end game could still be the same. Granted, it won't be 100%, but it should be at least 75, 80%. So you really have to sit here and figure out, is refinancing $45,000 van going to be worth it? Or is it going to be just leave it where it is and just leave it be? Because you could open a bigger can of worms if you try and refinance this
Yeah.
thing.
And Mary also had something similar about, the $100,000 miles free maintenance Mercedes. That still doesn't change the answer, but hopefully Christine was able to give you a source. Ty, you're going to make me rich. Thank you. Look, guys, I mean, this is something you could do really well with. The reality is, all jokes aside, is that there's a lot of people out there. There's over 500,000 businesses that start in this country every single month. Over 500,000 businesses. All of them have one thing in common, which is they all need capital to grow. This is the only system like this that exists to help people build business credit. And let's be honest, when it costs you $2,500 a year to get credit monitoring, and you could buy this from you as a partner for $2,500, it's kind of a no-brainer with all the stuff that we put in there. And look, we have partners alone that do $1 million plus in revenue selling business credit with us. So it's a really good opportunity if you're interested in that partner program. I think it's a really good opportunity for you to be able to make money. With a local number, do you advise against Google Voice? Yeah, you have to stay away from Google Voice. I don't know why, but business credit, the business credit issuers don't like Google Voice. But there's most of the others I found you can work. You never want to use a cell phone, and don't use Google Voice. For some reason, that one's problematic. Could I use my home address for the Secretary of State and use a virtual address for trade lines? No, you can't. One of the problems of building business credit that will get you denied is using different addresses. So if your Secretary of State address is different than what you apply with, that's a one-way ticket to denial on loans and credit being issued, just so you know. I have an LLC, and we do feed the children in as addition to other charitable shipping and transport. I'm also a veteran, and my father was D-Day battle. That's good. Thank you for your service and his Battle of the Bulge. I'm in the ministry and involved with the Miracle Center, somewhat challenged economically, but need to get involved. The Ultimate program. Look, Greg, let me be honest with you. If you're economically challenged, the last thing you want to do is choose our absolute most expensive program. What you really want to do is get started with something that's more affordable. The reason I say that is because our Ultimate program, we have a very high cost for fulfillment. It's extremely expensive for us to fulfill, which is why it's thousands more than any other program. Anybody that wants to financially be conservative, you don't want to start with our most expensive program. It's just not. Start with VIP and move up, but we will work with you on payments. Just get in touch with us. Just know it's much harder for us to be flexible and Ultimate because our cost for fulfillment is so much higher there, just so you actually know. So this works for nonprofit. Yes, any nonprofit can build a business credit. To get loans, it's very difficult as a nonprofit. You'll have to show tax returns to show a profit. When going from sole proper partnership to LLC or Inc., will my time in business restart? No, it will not. You will be able to keep that time in business. How quick to pay back revolving credit? Do you pay it off until it keeps 30%? Keep it under 30%. Business credit doesn't have that same 30% threshold that consumer credit does. You don't need to pay it off. You just need to make sure you pay your bills timely. Business credit scores are based on how you pay your bills. If you pay it late, your scores get dinged. The 30% does not matter in our world, though. With a VIP program, would it start with a core part of the program first? Am I able to start offering business credit? If you start with core, you can offer business credit. If you start with VIP, you can. So that being said, VIP is $100 more a month. And again, if you need flexibility, let us know what we can do to help. But core program, you can get business credit financing. VIP is what you're going to need to sell it. Do you have any special pricing for the Ultimate program? Yes, we will honor the same discount that we are giving you for VIP and core as Ultimate. Just give us a ring. What's the $99 monthly for? That's called our executive program, and that does a few different things. One, it gives you the access to have access to set up sales reps. You can set up sales reps. You can get special training for sales reps. You can access sales rep resources there as well. You also have the ability to submit customers in for financing without them buying anything first. You also have the ability to get paid 50% on all financing your customers get, whether you enter them for financing or whether they buy the finance suite from you. And then you also get a ton of additional resources. So look, you see we have 15 PowerPoints, we have these type of things. Well, executive resources, we just continue to add more and more and more resources in here. So what happens with executive is every single week I'm doing a webinar, and every week I do a webinar, the PowerPoint comes in here, and then we make it into a video as well. So as you can see, executive probably triples, if not quadruples, the amount of content that you get. All these are videos. All these are additional PowerPoints that you're getting access to. So I feel comfortable to say that there's at least 100 extra resources that you're getting in here just with executive that you don't get anywhere else. Basically, you're getting access to everything that we do on a regular basis as we do it. As a matter of fact, you get it before it. So before my webinars ever even go live, you're getting a video to promote it. You're getting PowerPoints to promote it, as well as all those other features that we talked about as well. You don't have to start with it. You don't ever have to get it. But again, what happens is a lot of our partners start without executive, then they move up to executive as they really start to make this, as they really start to gain steam. So that's what executive is, what you get with it, completely voluntarily. You don't ever have to get it. As core, there's no extra things ever involved. As a partner, you can get our marketing and automation platform. You can get our marketing set up and done for you. You can get executive to get more access. There's just more things available as you grow your business that everybody doesn't need access to. So that's what our executive program is. It does not apply to core. I already have my EIN and DMB. I just want to build credit. Is the price still the same? Yes, your EIN and DIB and Dun and Bradstreet number is not even 3% of the overall process. So if you came in and said, I have 10 trade lines, Like Christine already had a few trade lines when she started, we gave her a discount. So if you're coming in with the trade lines established, we give you a discount. But if you're coming in with just an EIN and D&B, you're not even 3% of the way through setting up your business, getting business credit. So that wouldn't warrant a discount. But look, guys, I got to be honest with you. We do not discount our prices. This is not something we do. What we do typically is we offer two sales a year that we offer. And then we also only ever offer discounts beyond that if you see us at a live event or if you see us on a webinar, and our discount is always the same, which is what you see here. So there's only 2 times a year you'll ever see us discount at all. And the only other time you'd get a discount is if you happen to hit us during a webinar or you happen to hit us during an event. So it's just a big deal for us to even offer the savings. And again, you're getting some really cool bonuses and things like that that I think will make it well worth your time as well. What kind of loans can a piercing and jewelry store get? Loans are based on 3 different types of factors. I call this the 3 C's of lending. And what we're looking at here is we're looking at, do you have cash flow? Do you have good credit? Or do you have collateral? If you have good credit, we can get you up to $150,000 in unsecured financing at 0% rates. These help you build business credit because the accounts report to the business credit reporting agencies. If you have revenue, we have credit lines and loans that will work based only on your revenue. And then we have financing based on collateral, 401k, stocks, bonds, inventory, equipment, any of those type of things. So my advice is that give us a call. Send us an email. We'll talk to you about all the financing you can qualify for now, so you have a pretty good idea of all the types of loans you can qualify for. Mary says, yes, I'm a transportation company. I'd like to pay it off under my business. Ty, can you help me with that under your program? Again, we've kind of tried to answer the same question kind of through a bunch of different angles here. The bottom line is you cannot refinance the vehicle that's in your personal name into a business auto financing. You could pay it off. Well, no, I mean, you could buy a new vehicle using auto vehicle financing. Christine gave you a source as well that may be able to work for you. The only other option we'd have is to help you build business credit and then eventually get enough credit to be able to buy or to pay off the actual loan. And that is something it's possible to just take time to do. For Quill and Uline, what is the minimum amount to spend? Quill, you want to spend $100 now for them to be able to actually report. It used to be 50. I heard something about military discount earlier, but was sidetracked when phone call. Well, somebody had asked with a specific question, and I said, look, the only discount we're going to do is the discount that's getting here at this webinar. We don't do any other kind of discounts, but give us a call and let us see what else we could do. We might be able to work something out for you or give you another incentive versus actual discounting pricing. We just don't discount our pricing, guys. And the reason is because what we're offering you is worth well beyond what the price is investment that we're offering it to you for, but we'll work with you on payments, and we've also got some other incentives that we may be able to throw in that case. For the unsecured program, when using a PG, how do I get around not having enough credit history? You don't. Unfortunately, that program is offered through finance sources. They're only going to approve you for this program if you have deep enough credit history. There's no way around it. The only way around it is to really use a guarantor. That's the only way you could possibly get around it. Can you move from core to VIP? You can move from any of our plans to another. Yes. I have a D&B from an old business. Can I update it to my new business? No, they're not going to let you do that unless it's for the existing business. You could try D&B or try iUpdate, which is D&B service or advisors can help you. But as far as I know, there is no way to do that. I have PayPal with at least 14,000 in rev for the last 2 years. They might be able to offer you a PayPal loan. It might be worth checking with them. I don't know if that's high enough, but it might be worth checking with them and see. Can I use that as financials? It depends on what you're trying to get. If you're trying to use that for business financing or for the business reporting agencies, no. If you're trying to use it to get money through PayPal, yes. I applied for the unsecured program, was told that my credit history on the personal side was too short. That makes sense, and I just answer that question. You can't get around that. You just have to build longer credit history or use a guarantor. Michael, hey Ty, I was listening to your podcast on webinars for a while, got screwed over from another company. I'm sorry to hear that, man. I really am. There's nothing worse than getting screwed over. Listening to Christine's first webinar is what made me enroll, and now I'm executive partner. His system is definitely the best. That's awesome, man. I really appreciate that, Michael. I'm glad it's working for you. And again, I'm really sorry sorry that you had a first, you got screwed over from the beginning. That breaks my heart to know that people are trying to go through this and working with unscrupulous companies. So I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm great. I'm glad you're having success. Thanks for the feedback, man. That's awesome. Bruce, if you obtain a large contract through the federal government, do you have a factoring program? Yes, we do. We do have account receivable and AR financing and purchase order financing. We deal with a ton of lenders that offer those kind of programs. So yes, so in this program, are you literally doing the work or just showing us how to build business credit? We are walking through. And you have to keep in mind when you're talking about doing the work, what do you mean? Think about it for a second. If you're talking about applying for credit, what you're talking about is that for one, you're going to find the credit you want to use. Two, you're going to apply for it, which is simple. The application only usually asks 5 to 8 questions. Three, you're going to use the credit. Four, you're going to pay the bill. So we can't do that for you, right? I mean, I can't choose the credit that you want, then go buy stuff with it, and then pay it off. That there's just certain aspects to this that only you could do. And Christine, what's your experience with this? I mean, in the beginning, you worked with a company that went out and did that. They said they were going to apply and get the credit for you. Give us some feedback of how that worked out.
It was a living nightmare. I mean, they would put me in a queue or a list, and you need credit now, not yesterday, now. And you would wait almost 2 weeks at a time, maybe even 3 weeks. I've waited up to 6 weeks for them to do 2 applications. And I'm like, this is ridiculous. And for what they were trying to get me, I could have gone out and done it myself with the Sam's Club, the Walmart, everything. And I waited and waited and waited. It's like, why would somebody else do this? And then you never know what they're putting on that application. You don't know what they're putting down for your verification of income, because some of these applications will want you to verify your funds. And if you're saying you made $5 million and you only made 500,000, they're going to know. They're going to find out. So you cannot trust some other company to do this. And that's what I love with Credit Suite. I go in, I see what I qualify for, I click on what I qualify for, I pick out what I want, I fill the application out myself. If I make a mistake, it's on me. Somebody else makes a mistake and gets my company red flag, I can't blame it on them, because then they'll look at me like, you're the one who hired them. You should have known better. So you have to sit here and think about, do you want to do this yourself and know how to do it 100%? And that way you get to field all the problems, or you want somebody doing it for you and trust that they're going to have your best interest at heart. And 9 times out of 10, these companies don't. They get people coming in left and right, paying them to do this. They'll get them only so far, and then all of a sudden, you're no longer there. You could call, you could email till you're blue in the face, and you don't get any answers. It's exactly how it goes.
Yeah, and I probably couldn't have summed it up better, guys. It's too risky. You can't have other people applying for credit on your behalf. First of all, if they lie about your revenue, it's fraud. And that easily comes on your shoulders. If you're giving them the power of attorney to go get credit on your behalf, what if they go get credit and buy a bunch of stuff for them and it's all in your name? Then how are you going to explain that to credit issuers when credit issuers don't even accept third-party applications, which means the whole process you're describing isn't even legal to begin with? There's so many problems that we won't do it. We do not operate in gray areas. We operate in black and white, and that keeps you safe and it keeps us safe. We do it legally. We do it ethically, and I've never heard any good result of other people trying to go out and apply for credit on somebody else's behalf. Fraud happens. It takes too long. The company gets burned. The individual that's paying them gets burned. It's just nothing good comes from that. So our system makes it super simple to work with our advisors. We'll go through the process with you even on the phone. But you have to understand, once you follow this process, once you come in, and once you go through the steps and set up your business credibly and you start to go apply, guys, you do not understand when we help you get to this point how simple the process is. It's super simple. These applications are not elaborate applications. Let me see if I could just access one to show you. Here it is. Here's 7-Eleven's application. That's it. First name, last name, business name, state, email, phone, number of vehicles, monthly fuel cost, current fueling method, program interest, and that's it. That is the application. This is the entire application. All of the applications are this short. The process is knowing how to do this process the right way. Once you get to actually applying, you wouldn't want to pay somebody extra money to do this. It's too simple to do once we've walked you through the entire process and shown you how to do it. So it's just too problematic, and we would never apply for credit for on other people's behalf. There's just too many problems for that on your end that could be blowback. 3 months and I have 11 trades, 7 reporting. Michael, that's awesome. So that's a great testimonial right there, guys. Michael's been with us for 3 months and
And
now
then,
has 11 trade lines, and 7 of those are already reporting. That's awesome. Christine, what were you saying?
and that's, and also I want to go back to having somebody else apply for you, because I just went through my Equifax. I mean, my Equifax score for failed transportation really took a big dive. I have 2 charge-offs on there that I have no clue where they came from. And guess what? Come to find out, one of those companies, all they have to do is say that they're a part of my company. When you apply, nobody's going to verify who works and who is the manager, who's the boss for this company. If you know all the pertinent information, you can get whatever you need, charge it up on this person's company, and guess what? They're stuck holding the bag. I'm in the process as we speak right now, disputing 2 items off of my Equifax that we didn't apply for, that I know for a fact are not ours, because I trusted a company, somebody else applied for it. And these were, and they opened up about the time I applied for this company. So you have to be very careful, and fraud is very prevalent, especially business industry being so easy to get this credit. All you have to do is know the pertinent information. That's it. And you got this credit.
And I,
So
I appreciate it's good feedback,
you have to
Christine.
be careful. Please be careful with this.
So guys, I'm going to answer questions to about 7:40. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in right now. Any questions past 7:40, I'm probably not going to get a chance to get to. We'll be here all night. Tawanta says, thank you for answering a question. No problem. Bruce, if you have derogatory items on your credit report, how does your system work exactly to remove them? Simple. First thing we do is see if the items are even reporting. In a lot of cases, they're not. If they are, we go right through iUpdate through Dun & Bradstreet. Equifax and Experian have online systems that we go through, and we dispute the information. To date, I've never seen an account disputed that we weren't able to get removed, but we use the Bureau's online system to actually navigate through that process. I'm not sure Marvin says what company, but I'm not sure. You'd have to ask that question again, Monda, or Marvin, because I don't know the first part of the question. Thanks for clearing that up. I just got scammed for 14,000. I'm really sorry to hear that. Amen. Sure, you sure can. Can you get a corp or LLC in another state other than we're in? You can, but I mean, does that really look legitimate or credible? That's going to create a lifetime of problems for you if you do it, but you can do it because it doesn't make sense for you to reside and operate in a different state than your business entity is set in. I'm just saying. How can I
Let
get in
me let
touch?
me let me clarify that one. Okay. First off, what you got to take into consideration, what kind of business are you? Are you a fast food chain? Are you a trucking company like mine? Or are you just somebody who sells something from home and you just want benefits from a different state? You got to look at how are you set up? Like me, my main business is in Ohio, but I'm expanding down to Texas. I'm going to have Chicago, the whole, basically from the Midwest over to the East Coast here pretty soon. Now, does that mean I got to go get business entities in every single state? No, but I'm moving to Texas. So my base of operations main office is here in Ohio, but I have to open up a foreign entity in Texas to be legit. So, in that case, yes, I can do that. But also, I have a business where it is acceptable to have more than one entity in more than one state, but it's looked at as a sister company, not the main one. So you really have to stop and think about what kind of business are you, and what is it going to look like? Only you can really answer that question, but you got to look at the logistics of it too and see, is it feasible? Because now you got to pay taxes in Ohio, and I have to pay taxes in Texas and any other state I decide to operate through. So you got to look at that aspect too. It's not just, hey, I want to be down here. You have to pay taxes down here. You have to pay taxes up here. It's across the board, and it's a headache. Are you really ready for that?
Liddell's asking, how can I get in touch with Michael or Christine? Guys, I'm not going to give you Christine or Michael's information here because you have to understand that Christina, she just mentioned, gets blown up just from people reaching out to her for questions and stuff. But if you get in touch with our team will get you possibly get you access to a group that they're part of, that they're engaged with answering questions and things like that. Tijuan says, I was once told when applying for business credit to provide a social security number to put all nines or zeros. You can't do that. It's a federal crime to misrepresent your social security number. You can never put anything in front in a social security number field outside of your actual social security number, just so you know. If my business relationship manager at Chase and Amex say absolutely no one personal guarantees for business credit card, what do I say? My Chase BRM is the head of 8 local banks. How many accounts do you have? It really doesn't, what I find is the underwriters are the only ones that have this answer. And look, I can tell you that we see people all the time with approvals with Chase Inc. and Amex without the personal guarantee. Chase even has an application online where you can clearly apply where it says no personal guarantee. So I don't know what to say to that. All I can tell you is that if anybody from Chase really thinks that they knows or understands all their business credit cards, that's an impressive person. But I don't know really what to say to that. Like I said, it's tough in my world helping 15,000 people build business credit for anyone to tell me that what I see happen every day isn't possible. So I can't really say anything about that. All I can say is that if you don't have enough trade lines reporting, it doesn't even matter to begin with. Chase Inc. does have cards without the PG. So does Amex. We see those approvals roll in all the time. Thanks, Ty. Nice to meet you on the webinar. I've reached out to Bob. He's a great guy to get me to set up the Ultimate. Also, is referred to you by Kent Adams. Kent's a great guy of Transact Capital. In case you offer any recognition, well, I appreciate that, Kent, for the referral, and thanks, Dan, for letting me know. Bob and I've worked together for a long time. He worked for me with my consumer business, credit business, and we sold that and came with me here. What is FSR score? I'm not exactly sure what that is, what that's an abbreviation for. If I the bureaus have what's called financial stability scores, but that wouldn't be FSR, so I'm not actually sure what that's referencing. Can you use a Regis address to get an LLC? Yes, you can. What if you already have everything, including 7 vendors, and you only need business credit for a startup? You can get in touch with us. We can see what we can do for you there. What are good first-time credit cards that don't require a personal guarantee? You got to start with those starter vendors we talked about: Uline, Quill, Granger, Gimplers. Those will get you started. Amazon seller, that's not a question. Have 10 trade lines and 2 fleet gas cards and Lowe's Pro Card. Congratulations, Robert. That's awesome, man. My business is an online store. I'm registered in Michigan, but my virtual address is in Nevada. Is that bad? I don't think so. I think Christine just elaborated on the answer to that. I think that, it depends on some of those factors she discussed. I do not believe that you should have a business registered in a different state than you operate, but there are ways around it. It's not by itself going to get you denied. It's just you're going to run into a lot of problems as you start to try to build that business. As for EIN and DUN, the EIN is required, DUN is not. Should I furnish DUNs too? I do. I've had a personal experience where I applied for a credit card, was denied, and I said that can't be. I have extensive Dun & Bradstreet history, provided them my DUNs and got approved. So if they let you provide your DUNs, provide your DUNs. That's my personal advice, and that's what we see with our clients too. It's going to take a while for me to clean up my personal credit. We'll start with you, work on my business credit. Yeah, a lot of our clients start doing that, and they do this exact same thing. They're fixing their personal credit while they're building a business credit. Just because you could build business credit regardless of personal credit doesn't mean you should ignore it. You really should address it. Want to know if I can apply for trade lines before the DUNS number arrives? You can, yes. A lot of them won't ask for a DUNS, so you can start that process, yes. But some other sources will ask for a DUNS, just so you know that. Is your marketing system in Spanish or bilingual sales forces, and can it be used for marketing in Spanish? Yes, it can. We have you can actually go through our system in Spanish, as I showed you with the click of a button, and you also can come in and access a lot of our resources here too. So if you go to resource library, you can see that we have Spanish resources right here. And then all of these are Spanish seminars, press releases, emails, flyers, everything. And all of this is completely done in Spanish. So the The system can be accessed in Spanish. All of our a lot of our flyers, marketing materials, all the stuff you can see here is all in Spanish as well. So this makes it really easy for you to be able to basically offer business credit financing in English and in Spanish. Is a salon high risk? No, it's not. You showed back office videos in English, not Spanish. The videos actually have they have closed caption that is in Spanish. So the video sound will be in English and the video closed captions will be in Spanish if you elect to put closed captions on the videos. If you choose closed caption on a video, it will add the Spanish closed caption to all videos. So that's how we work with videos in Spanish. So you can see here that if I come in and I just simply change English to Spanish, you could see all the content in the entire system immediately converts to Spanish. And you can see on the videos, if I just simply hit closed caption Spanish, that all the videos actually then convert to Spanish as well. So that makes our system fully Spanish if that's something that you decide to actually do. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. Look, if you have other questions, I don't want you to be neglected. Give us a call. We don't expect you to enroll and get started and do things if you still have questions. The purpose of this is just to show you what Christine did, how she got the results, tell you her story, which I think a lot of people can relate, teach you a lot of things you can walk away with and immediately do right now. With or without us. And most importantly, if you want to work with us, it gives you the ability to do so at a discount with some really cool bonuses. The amount that we save you with Dun & Bradstreet, with 411, with business valuations, with credit monitoring is well more than what it actually costs to enroll with us. So we make sure that just the savings that we give you is more than the system itself. Like I said, we've helped over 15,000 people now build business credit. We're A+ rating with a BBB without paying them a dime. We're 5-star Trustpilot rated. You can go to our website. You can see it's not bogus. You can see all of people's actual reviews where they're giving you feedback. You'll see 2-star. You'll see 3-star. You'll see 4-star. We don't take those out. Those are all there. So there's plenty of data there, testimonials, case studies, actual approvals. I think you'll have a tough time finding a company in any industry that has a reputation like we have and that shows hundreds of funding and business credit results as we openly share. And I think that says a lot about what we're able to do for you. So hopefully I have an opportunity to work with a lot of you. Christine is one of many clients that I've become very close with because I've got an opportunity to watch these businesses grow. And I'm so passionate about having that opportunity to be able to watch somebody like Christine go from struggling to kind of build a business and get the money she needs. And now it's just awesome. Like, today I can't share a lot of the stuff because she's got some privileged stuff that's out there of deals she's making. But to see her making moves and buying these bigger businesses and 50xing her business in the course of a couple years and buying this land and just to watch her move up the way that she's moved up is ridiculously rewarding for me. But it only happens if you can access capital. And that's what we really do is we help you access the business credit you need without spending the years trying to figure this out. You can see here, guys, we've been here for almost an hour and a half just with questions that a lot of people have. You're going to have hundreds of more questions as you try to do this on your own. But when you work with our advisors, we help you through this process. We help you expedite it. Then you get to hopefully the place where Christine is, where you're getting 750,000, or Marlon is, where he's got over $1 million. You're holding stacks of credit cards. You're sharing your results. And then you're using that to fund and grow your business. And as your business grows, we grow with you. We have SBA funding. We have alternative SBA funding. We fund loans in the millions of dollars. We deal with venture capital. So we deal with a lot of the kind of financing out there that will help you from a startup all the way to when you get revenue, to getting term loans, lines of credit, all the way through. Our goal is pretty simple. We want one system, one solution, one team that can get you all the money you need from the lifetime of your business, from the time you dream up the idea all the way to the time where you go to sell the business. That's why we have business valuations as part of our business. our goal is to help you get to your goal, and a lot of our clients' goals is to exit, to sell their business. So if you're going to exit, you need to keep an idea of what your business is worth until you exit and sell. That's why we incorporated business valuations into our system and didn't charge, because we want you to know what your business is worth as you're getting towards that goal. And we continue to add some really cool things and do a lot more cool things as well. And you will see that being a client of ours is really rewarding. We do a lot of cool things for our clients, whether it's be to send you books, to send you a subscription for 12 months to Entrepreneur Magazine. We just started this really cool thing called Founders Plaque I'm really proud of, where our clients will start to eventually get a plaque with you with your founded date, founded information on it, and on and on and on. We have the reputation we have because we really do a lot to make sure that we support our client network and to make sure that you have what you need to be able to be successful. So does this make
That's
sense to you? Go ahead, Christy.
And that's another thing I want to tell them too is like not only with your program will they succeed, it's when you build relationships with these creditors and these vendors, they'll literally start rolling out the red carpet for you. Because with RTS, I have not only a fuel card, I've got the $300,000 line of credit, but through one of their partner companies, over the road leasing for big rigs, I don't have to provide a personal guarantee anymore because I got approved for 300,000 in their factoring. I just go there, I put 5,000 down, which is not the normal amount down on a big rig. I sign, I drive. I tell them I need 5, 10, 15, or however many trucks of my specifications. They will roll out the red carpet. They will look for those trucks specifically. And if they don't have them in stock, they will find them. They will ship them to me. I sign, my drivers drive. That is how this works. You build relationships, and this stuff will literally start falling into your lap. You just got to work at it. You got to build the relationships. You got to be out there. And like my husband says, I'm good at sniffing out credit. I'm really good at it. So, you
Yeah,
know,
it's true, guys. I mean, don't be naive. Look, business credit's as important to your business as consumer credit is to you as a consumer. When you have it, just like Christine said, the red carpet's rolled out, you start getting more invitations in the mail to get credit than you even know what to do with. When you get credit and you need credit at a place, you go get it, you get it at ridiculously high levels. It's not, it should be, it happens because when you look at Christine's credit report, she's got 15, 20 plus trade lines reporting. And the more credit she gets, the more credit she uses, the more she's able to get. And that's how she's able to fund her business. Does she have credit that she signed as a personal guarantee for? Sure. We wanted to make sure we were completely transparent, honest with all the credit that she got that had a PG, the credit that she got that didn't, the credit that she got that's net accounts, the credit that she got that's revolving. But you have to know that the reason she got each of that type of credits because she chose to get that. Sears was the only surprise. The other ones, she knew they were net accounts when she applied. She wanted those. She wanted the other ones to be revolving. She wanted the higher limits at PNC, which is why she supplied additional information to get it. So you have a lot of options, and then you choose. If you only want no personal guarantee credit, you only get no personal guarantee credit. If you don't want to supply financials, then don't supply financials. Those are choices you will make, but you will have a abundance of options once you start building business credit, because when you have a commercial credit profile and score, that triggers all these approval offers the same as it does when you have good credit on the consumer side, right, Christine?
yes, yes, it is true. And that's another thing with, when you start building business credit, and this is what people are not really understanding is eventually you will have to personally guarantee somewhere along the line. It's not you're never going to do it. You will. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. You will eventually have to do it. But the likelihood, if your business credit is strong, is very low. It's not going to be like, oh, well, I need $1 million loan. Well, let's see what your personal credit's like. And you only have 10 trades. Then you're not going to get that loan. You have 30, 40 trades on there, all in good standing. You might have a hiccup or bruise here and there, but everything else is still good. Your personal credit could be kind of median to marginal. You'd still get the loan because, hey, you've taken care of your business. So we're not saying that you will never, ever have to personally guarantee. Eventually you will. But the likelihood is smaller and smaller and smaller as you go. But also, in building business credit, you also get to build your personal credit. You learn how to do one and the other, fix the stuff on your personal, and then when you do have to personally guarantee, you can move forward without any problems. because now both are in good standing. So it's always a benefit to everything.
Christine, thanks for 3 hours you set aside for us tonight. You're trying to run two businesses. I'm sure everybody appreciates it. I really appreciate it. Thanks for coming on and spending this time. You get no reward, no financial, there's no reward to her for doing this, everybody. So I just want to thank you personally. And a lot of the other people are commenting, saying the same thing. It really means a lot that you took this time to openly share with us and be so candid. I really appreciate it.
Oh, it's not a problem. I'm surprised my kids have been this quiet. So now I'm kind of worried.
Brian asked, is body piercing high risk? No, it's not. Thank you guys for all the thank yous. I appreciate that. Nobody specific to ask for when you call the office. What does it take to get Amex? 14 trade lines. Is business evaluation available for our clients as well? It is. How did Christine know what type of business credit to apply for? We helped her with that. That's one of the benefits that she got as being one of our clients. I know this works. My personal credit's 470. I have 6 trade started and trying to get the money to start partner. That's great, man. Congratulations. All right. Well, thank you all. I get a lot of thank yous now. I'm going to wrap this up. If you have any other questions, don't forget, guys, I don't just expect you to take this information and make a decision. This was just to give you the basics. Give us a call, 877-600-2487, 877-600-2487. Email us, info@creditsuite.com. Our team is in the office right now, even available to help you. A lot of people want to get started right away. Okay, I already see a bunch of people have already enrolled. So if you have questions, feel free to give our team a call. We will be sending you a playback tomorrow. Give us till the afternoon probably. This will take 2 or 3 hours, maybe less, I don't know, for them to even transcribe it. Hopefully it recorded. It looks like it is. But as long as we got a clean recording, we will get you a playback tomorrow. And again, our team will probably also be following up with you as well to see if you have any questions. But don't wait for us. Give us a call. Don't forget, we'll work with you on payments. We have a bunch of different options to make this affordable for you as well. Again, a very special thank you to Christine. Again, thank you very much for taking the time, Christine, to be
Hey,
with us.
not a problem. Not a problem. I enjoy it.
All right, and bye to everybody. Thank you all very much for taking the time to enjoy us. I know we were here for 3 hours, but I promised you I would stay and answer questions, and my promise, my word is my bond. So if it takes us an hour and a half to make sure your questions are answered, I wanted to make sure it was done. I'm glad we were able to do that. But if you have other questions, give us a call, send us an email, and I look forward to working with you all as clients where we're helping you build business credit and get financing, and also as partners as well, where you're offering both. So good night, everybody. Have a great night. I look forward to working with you. And Christine, I look forward to you. I'm sure you'll look forward to talking to a lot of these people in our groups and stuff as well.
Oh, yeah. I have a funny feeling I'm going to get a lot of messages tonight. So that's okay.
Well, don't stay up too late, and make sure you let Brian sleep.
Oh, definitely. No, I thought I'd rattle his cage, kind of wake him up. No, he'll be all right.
All right. Well,
So,
thanks to Christine again, and thanks to everybody for tuning in. Look forward to working with you and seeing you on the other side as we're building business credit. Bye, everybody.
bye.